What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 3GF61. King of Uruk Uzumaki Mizuki, what the hell is going on? This sentence, Sarutobi Hiruzen has said it countless times. This is the forbidden technique of your Uzumaki clan. The forbidden technique, which was able to directly seal the 9 tails that everyone was helpless at that time, why is it so invalid? He even felt that he didn't have to pay the price of using this forbidden technique. Able to live on. Bilala, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't answer his question, but tied him up with a skylock. There are many ninjas around, and they are still very loyal to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Seeing this scene, I want to go forward to save Sarutobi Hiruzen. But it was blocked by wood style used by Senju Hashirama. In the name of the king, I sentence you to death. Execute now. The way of the death penalty, plunge into the world of infinite betrayal, die. Uzumaki Mizuki controls Senju Hashirama and stops those ninjas. At the same time, take out the Mangekyo Sharingan of the water again. People who believe in you like this will also cheat, so feel what it feels like to be constantly betrayed. Uzumaki Mizuki controls Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan, casting illusions on Sarutobi Hiruzen. Chakra had little Sarutobi Hiruzen left, and could not dispel the illusion at all. In the world of illusion, he could only keep roaring one after another. Limbs were firmly bound by the lock of the sky, and Chakra, who kept suppressing him, made him unable to do anything. In the end, he just died alive in the illusion world. Senju Hashirama was furious at this time. He felt that this child was too cruel. But being controlled, he couldn't even speak at this moment. We can only stop those ninjas passively. Uchiha Fugaku is also helping out. Surrender, or die. You have only 2 options. After Uzumaki Mizuki finished off Sarutobi Hiruzen, he turned around and looked at the people behind him. Some of them had already given up resistance, but they didn't turn around and attack their original companions, they just didn't move forward. There is no action. But there is still a part that didn't stop and wanted to kill Uzumaki Mizuki. However, most of the most powerful ninjas among them were eliminated by the deviant sword EA just now. There are many rotten fish and rotten shrimp left, which are basically chunin. Many ninjas put down their weapons, just like the previous ninjas, they stood aside and did not move on. At this time, many bigwigs of the family are paying attention to this place. They did not expect this result, especially Ino Shikacho, but also family bosses like Hyuga. They were forced by Sarutobi Hiruzen to teach this kid a lesson. At this time, I couldn't help but feel a little scared. At that time, if you really do it, you will die. The last time Hokage played against Uzumaki Mizuki, they almost killed them. But it was precisely because of that battle that this time, they basically didn't come, and those who came were some middle-level pillars of the clan. Although it hurts to die, at least none of the bosses died. Surrender, lay down your arms, and wait here. 1. For those who want to die, I will satisfy you. Today, let Konoha disappear on the map of the ninja world. Uzumaki Mizuki stepped on the skylock to rise again, and then raised the deviant sword EA. Seeing this scene, the people on the field couldn't help but fell into panic. Just now, it was the attack released by this weapon that directly annihilated everything that was released. Moreover, to erase Konoha from the map, isn't it the people in the village are all going to die? Don't you want to end the war? If you do this, what's the difference between you and those who started the war? Senju Hashirama spoke from his side. Just now he has been controlled by Uzumaki Mizuki, unable to speak at all. Originally, he wanted to scold Uzumaki Mizuki for killing Sarutobi Hiruzen like that, but at this time he just wanted to keep Konoha. Then, I will give you time to inform the villagers before dawn that those who are willing to surrender will survive, and those who are not willing to surrender will die if they do not run away within this time. Uzumaki Mizuki, with a look of hesitation, then spoke. But the fact is that if you want to wipe off the tens of kilometers of Konoha's land on the map, the magic value is far from enough. But if you scare it, the effect is very good, and at this time the points have reached 500,000. It can be exchanged for a lot of useful equipment, and there are also those that increase the mana value. So he has confidence. Many ninjas around are a little desperate. What the hell is this demon? For Uchiha Fugaku, I feel that Uzumaki Mizuki is a bit too much. But now, he is a subject and cannot refute the king's words. Don't you want Konoha to become king? Senju Hashirama is a little confused. Advertisement Whirlpool spent so much effort sleeping soundly, isn't it to get Konoha? In your time, for you and Uchiha Madara, were ordinary ninjas really necessary? Genin Chunin, and even Jonin, in your eyes, are not all creatures at the same level as ordinary people? It's the same for me, so they are of little value to me, and if they don't want to submit to me, then kill them, lest they start a war in the future and waste their hands and feet to solve it. Uzumaki Mizuki said very directly, Super Cage level, and below Cage level, are not a kind of creature at all. 5 cages beat Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara didn't play with them seriously, and left them covered in bruises. But now, there is still a gap between Uzumaki Mizuki and Super Cage level. But in terms of attack power, follow. This kind of attack beyond everyone's imagination is enough to scare them. Senju Hashirama fell silent for a moment. This kid is more domineering than Uchiha Madara. Clan Chief Uchiha, go, inform those clans and see how they choose. Surrender, or die. Starting with the Hyuga clan, let them choose their own life and death. Uzumaki Mizuki greeted Uchiha Fugaku and gave him an order. By the way, silently recover the mana by yourself. The speed of recovery is still very fast now, and it won't be long before most of it can be recovered. Uchiha Fugaku was shocked and immediately agreed. Although he had been fighting for a long time just now, and his eyes were a little blurry, but he felt that he was full of energy at this time. Leaving the battlefield directly, ran towards the Hyuga clan. Want to discuss this so-called opponent for many years. You too, bring your own family and those who are willing to surrender. The king forgives you, and you will be the king's people from now on. Other figures are unwilling to surrender. After all, I am not a demon. Ordinary people leave here, and ninjas who are warriors can be buried here. Uzumaki Mizuki continued speaking. The ninjas around who had given up resistance immediately ran away after hearing this. They are going back to bring their own family and surrender to Uzumaki Mizuki. The other ninjas who originally wanted to resist also came up with this idea at this time. It's important to survive. If Obito and others didn't take the destruction of the world as their theme, it wouldn't be possible for the 5 major villages to join forces. All fought hard. Senju Hashirama was silent, he did not approve of this approach. The situation on the field suddenly calmed down. Those ninjas who were not afraid of death and wanted to kill Uzumaki Mizuki were stopped by Senju Hashirama. At this moment, the surroundings fell into darkness. The house that was set on fire just now was blown out by the impact of Uzumaki Mizuki's attack. The bulbs of the street lamps also shattered. In the middle of the battlefield, a deep hollow appeared. Uzumaki Mizuki took Naruto and stood on the roof of the street on the Uchiha side. During the period, there were still ninjas rushing through the siege, but they were all caught by the skylock, and then directly twisted and died. Gradually, footsteps appeared. Lots of people are coming here. Although the people who were notified did not believe it. But, here it is, the court was not silent, there was always crying. Women, children, most of these too. Hyuga Heishi appeared, looking at Uzumaki Mizuki with a hard face. The Hyuga clan, Hyuga Heishi, here on behalf of the Hyuga clan, surrender to the king. Hyuga Heishi knelt on one knee and said with his head down. King allow. Uzumaki Mizuki responded flatly. Hyuga Heishi accepted this fate and silently stepped aside. Apart from the Hyuga family, other families did not appear so quickly. However, a large number of civilians gathered here, and they all saw the pothole in the center, and they were all terrified. Do you want to fight him to the death? There was despair on Utatane Kaharu's face. At that time she wanted to go there with Sarutobi Hiruzen. But Sarutobi Hiruzen only let them send clones. Sure enough, just as Sarutobi Hiruzen thought, something happened. Does it make sense? It is definitely impossible to kill him. When Konoha is seriously injured, he will be targeted by other ninja villages, and he will also be destroyed. Ask for flowers, if you're lucky, you might be able to survive, but it's also turned into a village like Kusanagi village. Also, beware that he will make a comeback, you know, he's only 8 years old. Mitokado Homura said with a wry smile, there's no point in holding on. Advertisement whether it is now or in the future, it is not an opponent at all. So what is the purpose of continuing to hold on? Utatane Kaharu had nothing to say. Uzumaki and Mizuki waited and did nothing else. More and more people leaned over. When it was almost dawn before Li Dian, people from other families also came. Ino Shikacho, Inazuka, Aburame and other families. Most people's complexions are a little numb. Obviously such a result is unacceptable. However, they felt that it was unnecessary to continue to fight Uzumaki and Mizuki. Can't see the odds, and, both Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura committed suicide. At the same time, an order was sent to those Anbu, asking you to inform the ninjas in the village to surrender to Uzumaki Mizuki. The last family to come is the Sarutobi family and the Shimura family. The sky was also slightly red at this time. Uzumaki Mizuki stepped on the lock of the sky and rose slowly. Everyone looked up at Uzumaki Mizuki, sunrise. The sun shines on Uzumaki Mizuki, giving him a golden glow. It makes many people feel dazzling. Surrender to. My people, kneel. Uzumaki Mizuki looked down at the crowd below and spoke directly. The sound is magically amplified so that everyone in the village can hear it. Crash. Kneel down a large piece at once. People from the Uchiha clan also came out not long ago, and they all knelt down at this time. Sasuke raised his head and looked at Uzumaki Mizuki in midair in shock. What happened? Small head, big question mark. In the same way, there are a few children who were beaten by Uzumaki Mizuki, all of them feel amazing. The king is here to forgive you. From now on, you are the king's people, and everything you own belongs to the king. And the king will bear everything for you, Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. Many people looked at Uzumaki Mizuki in the sky in amazement. It feels like it's a bit powerful, the system prompts keep refreshing. A large number of points are increasing, and the numbers are constantly changing. From today onwards, you will be the subjects of the Uric Empire, and I am your king, Uzumaki Mizuki. Uchiha Fugaku, Hyuga Heishi, let your subordinates, wipe out all ninjas and ordinary people who have not come. Those who leave Konoha don't have to chase after them. After Uzumaki Mizuki declared the state, he ordered Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi to work. Yes, the two of them naturally have no opinion. Uchiha Fugaku, at this time, already regards Uzumaki Mizuki as a god. Hyuga Heishi, on the other hand, wants to show more performance in front of the new boss. Nara Shirju, Aburame Jouei, reorganized the ninjas into a team of 100 people and a small team of 10 people. Hitaki Kakashi led people to maintain law and order in the village and stabilize the status quo. Uzumaki Mizuki began to arrange. At this time, everyone was numb, and someone gave an order and they could only follow it. Although many people are still ready to make a move, but at this time, there is still no one. Senju Hashirama, help rebuild. By the way, on top of Hokage Rock, build me a palace, it'll do just fine, and I'll replace it with a new one soon. Uzumaki Mizuki finally said to Senju Hashirama, who was looking around from below. Call. It is good. Senju Hashirama felt P******** D off. But there is no way. I blame my idiot brother for creating such ninjutsu. Even if he died, he would be called out, seeing these things that made him sad. Many ordinary people feel that the sky is about to change. But the ninjas of some families feel as if they just changed their allegiance to another person. But very confused about the future, they don't know what the future holds. When ninjas, they know the future is to fight, it is inevitable. But now, it is not clear what their so-called king wants to do. I just know that Konoha lost, 62, Blazing Angel's Embrace and Wind King Barrier. For 3 days in a row, Konoha was recovering, normal business gradually resumed. The school has also begun to officially start classes. Police forces began patrolling. Konoha's ninjas were scattered into small teams. Responsible for helping rebuild Konoha. Naturally, the damage received this time cannot be compared with the night of the Nine Tails Rebellion. However, there are still many places that need to be repaired. Senju Hashirama's ability is really awesome. Big brother, is this the graveyard of our parents? Naruto said sadly. Uzumaki Mizuki brought Naruto to honor his parents, Namikaze Minato, and Uzumaki Kukina. Yes. Don't be sad, it won't be long before I will resurrect them. Uzumaki Mizuki patted Naruto's head and said, Unlock Impure World Reincarnation, get Rinnegan, use Rinne Tensei, 7 and 4 Kingdoms. As long as you find a solution to the side effects of Rinne Tensei, basically resurrection is not a big problem. The talisman that breaks the commandments of all things may be invalid. Because trying to use it, to remove the cooldown of Shisui distinguished heavenly gods, does not work. Really? Naruto was shocked, he never knew that people can be resurrected after death. Real. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded. The points reached 3.5 million? Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the points in the system and felt his heart expand. The attributes and so on have also increased a little bit. Exchange. Seraphim's Embrace. Uzumaki Mizuki directly exchanged for the equipment that can add the most mana to himself. Direct fusion and upgrade of Tears of the Goddess directly consumes 1 million points. Seraph's Embrace. Increase magic power by 15,000 points. Increase mental strength by 100 points. Provides spiritual power equal to 3% of the magic power of the equipment. Advertisement. Magic Shield. Generate a shield made of magic power, absorbing 25% of the current magic power damage, lasting for 3 seconds. Uzumaki Mizuki opens his own template. Template open black lens bracket Gilgamesh close black lens bracket. 195 stamina, 168 mental power, 793 HP value, 1680. Magic value. 7,930 points, Skylock plus 3,000 points, 100 million, magic value 1,000, Chakra, 1,300, Embrace of Seraphim, 15,000, Mangekyo Sharingan, 1 piece, Uchiha Shisui, 2,000, Book of Seals, 13,000, Ninja Tool open black lens bracket 2,000 close black lens bracket. Equipment. Skylock, Seraphim's Embrace, Kohler's Dagger, Talisman that breaks all commandments, Mangekyo Sharingan, 1 piece. The magic value exceeded 40,000 in one fell swoop, reaching 43,430 points. From this point of view, the effect of sealing is quite strong. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at his mana and felt very good. According to one Rasengan with 400 magic points, more than 100 Rasengan can be placed. Looking at it this way, I found that it was all due to equipment bonuses, but at this age, the body has not yet grown up. If you work hard, at the age of 10, you should be able to provide tens of thousands of magic points just by your physical fitness. There are still 2.5 million points, this number is not very good, just change another equipment. 11. Exchange hyphenation point Wind King Barrier. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the number of points, somewhat unhappy. Finally, I exchanged for a treasure again. In fact, it can be exchanged for a lot of equipment, but in terms of use, it doesn't have much effect, not as good as the Lock of the Sky. In terms of attack, Phylisian EA is also the top. So Uzumaki Mizuki is now more of an exchange for some auxiliary equipment. Deduct 400,000 points. Exchange successful. Wind King Barrier hyphenation point level C. Anti-person treasure. In addition to the advantage of making the attached equipment transparent, the compressed wind can also be used as a one-time long-range weapon. Close black lens bracket. Added 1,500 points of magic power and more than 10 points of attributes, not bad. Uzumaki Mizuki took a look at the attribute changes. Nothing too big a problem. Exchange this, is used for sneak attack. If it is attached to the skylock, only one can be covered at a time. In the future, after I learn swordsmanship, the effect will be very good, and the magic power consumed is not too much. The next step is to modify the current system, advertisement. In a short period of time, it cannot become stronger quickly. Now that you have become a king, manage your own country well. And every year, these people will provide him with points. Then, he should treat his own people well. The distance from becoming the real hero King Gilgamesh is when the treasure of the king, Curry, is full of system equipment. Soon, Uzumaki Mizuki called a meeting of the First Uric Empire. Those who came to the meeting, besides those family bosses, also had captains who were divided into teams. The number of participants was less than 70. But they are all important personnel in Uric. The first thing is to recall all the ninjas who are outside. If they don't want to come back, they will leave Uric, and there will be a 3-month period. The second thing is that in the future, B-level and genin techniques will be learned in the ninja school. The textbooks of the ninja school will be reorganized, and tree climbing, treading water, and sea-level ninjutsu will be listed as normal teaching content. The third thing is that ninjutsu below A level will be open to all ninjas, including the secret techniques in the Book of Seals. Ninjutsu above A level can be exchanged through contribution points, including the family's secret techniques. Value calculation will be determined within a month. The fourth thing is to plant food, and plant all the surrounding land that can be planted for me. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke directly in the conference room. The people in the audience fell into silence for a moment. Senju Hashirama also got in the mix. No one cares about him. Restricted by Uzumaki Mizuki, not allowed to do anything to anyone, only after building the house. He became the mascot. Uzumaki Mizuki, a toolman who can't eat or drink for nothing after being summoned, will naturally not waste it. He is not in a hurry to go back to 5.7, because I want to see what Uzumaki Mizuki will turn Konoha into. I want to make sure that I am really wrong. The silence off the court was divided into 2 factions. One group is ordinary ninjas, and they are naturally ecstatic to hear that they can learn ninjutsu below B level at will. In the past, they had to work hard to obtain these ninjutsu. The other faction is the family ninja. They look ugly. Because, family secrets are all kept in the sealed book. Now take it out and teach these civilian ninjas? I can't bear it. This is digging up their roots. 63. Let Daimyo of the Fire Country wait to die. My lord. These secret techniques have been passed down from generation to generation in our family, so it's a little bit. It was Nara Shikahisa who spoke. He has been very lucky, not by too serious injuries. The last battle did not follow. At the same time, the last words of Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura were conveyed by him, so that other ninjas gave up resistance. But facing the kid Uzumaki Mizuki, it is indeed difficult to feel awe in his heart. But knowing the number of ninja casualties under his command, he couldn't hold back. Nara Shirju's words stagnated the enthusiasm of the commoner ninjas below. But soon, they accepted the fact that ordinary ninjas, and these family ninjas with secret art inheritance, really couldn't compete. Most civilian ninjas are cannon fodder. Everything about you belongs to the king, do you understand? But Uzumaki Mizuki naturally won't give any face. Turning his head and looking directly at Nara Shirju, he lowered his head in fright. Although very angry, his fists were clenched tightly. However, there is no meaning of resistance. At that time, I didn't dare to do anything. 25, now, who wants to turn their backs? Senju Hashirama didn't expect this child to be so domineering towards his own people. It feels like it's going to fall apart sooner or later. The family that has chosen the secret technique can exchange for any forbidden technique in the sealed book, except for impure world reincarnation. In the future, if this family wants people to learn this forbidden technique, they will not have to pay any price, but the candidates must be approved and discussed after approval. Anyone have any objections? Uzumaki Mizuki continued speaking. There are many families in Konoha, and their faces are slightly moved. The value of the forbidden technique is not worse than the secret technique, and even more valuable than the secret technique. If it is exchanged in this way, then they will not lose money. Moreover, in the Book of Seals, the ninjutsu of their families is the most basic. For example, the 3 families of Inoshikacho only have basic secret techniques such as heart-to-heart technique, some expansion jutsu, and shadow imitation. The core is not written in it. It is definitely not a loss to change to forbidden technique. Wong, does forbidden technique include flying thunder god technique? Someone asked impatiently. This technique can make 4th Hokage famous in the ninja world. Advertisement: if you can learn this technique, it is worth it. Many people are interested in this technique, include multiple shadow clone technique, tandem paper bombs, spiritualization technique, 8 inner gates formation, ghoul sealing, and Li Xixiang sealing technique belong to forbidden technique. Although ninjutsu such as flying thunder god technique are not forbidden techniques, they are listed as forbidden technique levels and can only be exchanged for one type. However, the cultivation requirements of this technique are very high, and ordinary people cannot achieve it. Whether to exchange it or not should be carefully considered. Uzumaki Mizuki explained. There are many techniques that are not forbidden technique, but the value is equally high. For example, the sealing technique of the Uzumaki family, the Rasengan of the 4th generation, the ninjutsu developed by Orochimaru when he was still in Konoha, etc. The family ninjas below have no comments. These ninjutsu can be exchanged like ordinary ninjas, but the requirements are slightly higher, but if they are achieved, they will be exchanged daily. Growing food is the next first task, and ninjas who have nothing to do must participate. Hyuga Haishi, arrange for the ninjas of your Hyuga clan to learn the knowledge of mines, and then look for mines around Konoha for development. Uzumaki Mizuki kept saying. The people below can only obey orders and can't do anything else. About 10 minutes or so, I finished talking about everything I had to do. In the past, Konoha was a complete military town, and there was no such thing as planting and mining. Because the name of the country of fire does not allow it. If Konoha can be self-sufficient, what else does the land of fire need? So through various materials, Konoha's lifeline was stuck, so Konoha had to obey orders. My lord, how will we treat the nation of fire in the future? Nara Shirju then asked. In the past, he helped Mitokado Homura and Utatane Kaharu to deal with the Fire Nation. Let the Fire Country daimyo wait for death. Right now there's not enough food, let's plant the fields first, and when the food is enough, the car starts to work. My goal, the ninja world, is this place. Now that I have extra energy, I will invade southeast, all the way to the sea, occupy the territory of the former Vortex Kingdom, and gain access to the sea. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Naturally, other people on the field did not dare to have any opinions. I just feel that this king is really hockey. Advertisement. The first task is farming. If you find it too troublesome, ask that person for help. Today's meeting is here. 5 days later, the list of Uruk government officials will be confirmed, and that's it. After Uzumaki Mizuki finished speaking, he got up from his seat. Then directly release Shadow Clone, disappearing in front of everyone. The one mentioned, of course, is Senju Hashirama. Let him go to farm, he is definitely a good hand, maybe he can directly give birth and accelerate growth. Uzumaki Mizuki's body, naturally near Naruto. After all, this is his only weakness now. The people on the field also looked at each other at this time, and they always felt a little uncomfortable. Then, let's arrange people to farm first, everyone has no objections. Nara Shikaku asked. The others shook their heads. On Uchiha Fugaku's side, no job was assigned. Then we can only continue to be in charge of the 287 side of the police force as before. Human sociality is not destroyed in a stable transition environment. The vast majority of people now just feel that they have lost the stability of the past and don't know what the future will look like. But life can go on. Uzumaki Mizuki is also practicing himself. Now it is an open and above-board cultivation. The main thing is to refine chakra, and the second is to practice various swordsmanship. In the Book of Seals, there are also swordsmanship about the Hitaki family and other families. Ninjutsu or whatever, it's easy for Uzumaki Mizuki. Because the training of daily tasks in the past is to control magic power, which is very helpful for practicing ninjutsu. Physical skills are lacking, so I practice swordsmanship hard. Collect the treasures of this world, expand your territory, and increase your people. According to the current situation, it seems that only Obito and his group are a threat to me, and the others, unless there is an alliance of 5 major powers, otherwise, there is no big problem. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the information about the outside world and made a judgment. The establishment of Uruk will definitely be strongly opposed by the Fire Nation, this should be the first battle. 64. Obito. There is only one truth. Konoha's great changes, there is no intention to hide anything. And at the beginning, many ninjas ran away and brought the news directly. Among these ninjas, there are also many spies from Ninja Village. In just over 10 days, the news spread throughout the ninja world. The nation of fire is in turmoil, but the Fire Country daimyo immediately arranged his own manpower to take over the defense line of the ninja world. At the same time, buy these ninjas on the line of defense. He said that he would regain Konoha for them and so on. Convinced many ninjas at once, and some surrounding countries feel a little ready to move. But they want to wait for the civil strife in the land of fire before they take action against the biggest fat sheep in the ninja world. The most shocking was Uchiha Itachi. Okay, the leaves are gone? No one has clarified what happened to Konoha, but the news that came out only said that it was done by the Uzumaki family. It really worked? Uchiha Itachi still couldn't believe it. He didn't know what was going on with Konoha at this time. However, if the other party breaks away from the Fire Nation and establishes an independent country, then war is unavoidable. When I heard the news, I was shocked. I didn't expect that there is such a person in Konoha. On Obito's side, there was a look of surprise on his face. Today, Obito was going to take Uchiha Itachi to kill Konoha and trouble the Uchiha clan. But now, what's going on? Konoha collapsed first? That blonde man, the village he desperately guarded, just disappeared? Specific information is being collected. However, according to intelligence, the big brother of Nine Tails Jinchuriki, a child, defeated Konoha's ninjas, killed 3rd Hokage, and took over Konoha. Ju's tone was also full of surprise. When he heard the news, he wondered if White Zetsu was messing around. He has lived for thousands of years, but he has never seen such a thing. Although I have witnessed many reincarnations of Indra and Ashura, none of them are so outrageous. The two most powerful are Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. But the two of them also started to exert their strength after they were 30 years old. That child, as long as he is 8 years old. Advertisement, you said that he defeated 3rd Hokage, also defeated Konoha's many ninjas, and then became their new commander? Obito asked sarcastically. In this case, what about a liar? This is fake news from Konoha. Uchiha clan, someone has awakened Mangekyo Sharingan. Then controlled the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, used the power of Nine Tails, and defeated the ninjas of 3rd Hokage and Konoha. This is the truth, Obito judged without hesitation. Very reasonable. Uchiha Itachi didn't speak from the sidelines. During this time, he ran to Kirigakure, killed a companion, and then awakened the pupil art of Amaterasu. However, he felt that the absolutely obtained information was true. At that time, I lost to him, but of course he wouldn't say anything about it. This time I'm going to Konoha, who knows what's going on. That's probably true, so did Uchiha take over Konoha? Absolutely understand here. His energy is mainly focused on collecting Jinchuriki news. Konoha is very troublesome, not to mention the barrier in the village, and there are people from the Hyuga clan. White Zetsu is easy to spot. Therefore, the vast majority of White Zetsu are placed in the positions of the other 5 major countries and are responsible for collecting intelligence. Since that's the case, let's get the Nine Tails Jinchuriki directly this time. There is no need for such a Konoha to exist, Obito decided this way. In his heart, he also has some fetters with Konoha. For example, back then, he wanted to be Hokage's man wholeheartedly. Let's go now, it will be very troublesome when Uchiha completely stabilizes Mu Yin. After finishing speaking here, dive directly into the ground. You should not be Konoha's spy. If it is, then it is a bit too miserable. After all, Konoha is gone. Obito looked at Itachi and said, I came here in pursuit of greater power. Uchiha Itachi replied very coldly, but the news that Uchiha Madara is going to do something seems to be difficult to pass back. He didn't want the village to be caught off guard, so he was thinking about how to deliver the information. Advertisement, very well, this time, let's kill Uchiha. Obito nodded in satisfaction. Orochimaru looked at the information and fell silent. He obtained information, and absolutely the same. It says, Nine Tails Jinchuriki's big brother, the son of 4th Hokage, defeated his teacher Sarutobi Hiruzen, and also defeated Konoha's ninja. The most important thing is that this person is only 8 years old. This world is really amazing. Minato's child, how can you do this? Or, is this child Minato himself? Orochimaru didn't think the news was false. In his opinion, whether Minato transferred his soul into his child's body was the only way to do this. If this is the truth, then there is certainly nothing wrong with this fact. It seems that it is necessary to go back. Orochimaru killed the experimental subject he had prepared. This time the experiment failed again, but now, he feels that things on Konoha's side make him more interested. Same with Orochimaru, and Jiraiya, and Tsunade, Li Qian's. Konoha is their village after all. When something like this happened, they had to go back. Jiraiya naturally didn't believe it, it feels so unreal. Minato's child. As for Tsunade, the mood is very complicated. She didn't know what she was going to do when she went back. Obviously, there was no one she cared about in the village. Many people from Ninja Village are also approaching Konoha, wanting to know more detailed information. On Konoha's side, everyone is preparing to farm. Earth-style ravine technique celery. Senju Hashirama clapped his hands together, saying what happened. Under the influence of his chakra, the ground directly split into gullies of less than 10 centimeters. This is a ninjutsu developed by himself, which is specially used for farming. 65. I will surprise Uchiha Madara. If you have time, write down all the ninjutsu you know. Uzumaki Mizuki watched Senju Hashirama perform the technique. It feels pretty good. It's just sea-level ninjutsu, and the consumption is not very high. It is completely possible for farmers to learn the chakra refining technique and then use it by themselves. A ninja with such a strong productivity is all used for fighting. This is the most wasteful thing in this world. Impure world reincarnation shouldn't be able to control me from doing this. Senju Hashirama was speechless. I feel like this kid is overachieving. He was also a family ninja, so he naturally knew how much change it would take to let go of ninjutsu and let others learn it. Now the Konoha families are forced by Uzumaki Mizuki's despotic power and dare not resist. But it also gave benefits, and calmed down the hearts of these families' resistance. He felt very satisfied with this move. Turns out it can still do that. Give it or not, it's up to you. Anyway, in the future, more new ninjutsu will be continuously developed. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't care too much about Senju Hashirama's jutsu either. At the level of Senju Hashirama, for the attributes he has mastered, he basically calls for whatever he wants. This is thanks to fine control over chakra and a deep knowledge of attributes. Sealing is just one way to induce. For beginners, it is a good way to get started. No patience at all, however, you did a lot of things that I dare not do. 947. Konoha will become stronger and stronger. Senju Hashirama was a little helpless. It doesn't make much sense for him to write about ninjutsu or not. He just wanted to tease the kid, but it seems that the other party is more aware of his own understanding than himself. You are limited by the world. Limit your thinking, dare not break the common sense, but I don't care about those. As a king, I own everything my subjects have, and likewise, I have to shoulder the responsibility of protecting them. Uzumaki Mizuki said, now that you have received the protection fee, you will shoulder your own responsibilities. But war cannot be avoided. Soon, you will face the attack from the Nation of Fire, and at the same time, the surrounding countries will attack the Nation of Fire. The entire ninja world will be plunged into war. Advertisement. This is what Senju Hashirama cared about the most in the past. He doesn't want to be dead anymore, so I would rather be humble and other shadows whose strength is far inferior to him bow their heads, and even give them the tail beast half-souled and half-gifted. I hope to use this to stabilize the situation, make everyone afraid of the power of the tailed beast, and then stop the war. War cannot be stopped. CFCH, even after I unify the ninja world, a new war will break out. As long as I have a clear conscience and fulfill my responsibilities as a king, that's fine. Uzumaki Mizuki has no interest in popularizing the history of the Otsutsuki clan with Senju Hashirama. The ninja world has stopped, and the invaders will not stop either. Senju Hashirama likes to make everything better, and he will think about the worst possibility. Let people pass on this technique, write it on the bulletin board in the village, and let everyone learn it. Uzumaki Mizuki said to Shiranui Genma on the side. This guy used to be his own cheap father, 4th Hokage's bodyguard. He lacked a younger brother to run for him, so he finally chose him. A few days ago, the candidate for the political affairs officer was confirmed. Uchiha Fugaku, General Marshal of the Uruk Empire. Nara Shirju, Uruk Imperial Affairs Officer. Hitaki Kakashi, Uruk Empire City Defense Commander. Hyuga Haishi, Uruk Empire Finance Minister. Akamichi Choza, Uruk Empire Minister of Agriculture. Basically, most of the work has been done by someone, and Uzumaki Mizuki is not interested in managing the country. Just grasp the general direction. As long as the strength is enough, the king will always be the king. This kid, you used to be the guard of the 4th generation, right? Is he the same? Senju Hashirama asked Genma Shiranui at the side. That's not the case. 4th generation looks at him, he is very kind and treats us very well. Shiranui Genma replied. When he was selected as Uzumaki Mizuki's non-commissioned officer, he thought he had made a mistake. But for Uzumaki Mizuki, he didn't have much resentment. That's the blood of the Uzumaki clan, and Mito has that temper too. Senju Hashirama thought this way. King, there are many spies in the country near us. It seems that the other 5 major villages are very concerned about our changes, and there should be quite a few people sent by the Fire Nation. Advertisement. Uchiha Fugaku reports from Uzumaki Mizuki. Without the shackles, Uchiha Fugaku felt himself lighten up. The Uchiha clan was reused. The manpower of the police force was dispersed, and the king's guard force was established separately, and it was dispersed to the foreign offensive force. Castle defense was handed over to Kakashi. Now a new team formed by people from several families and many civilian ninjas is responsible for the comfort inside Konoha. Don't worry about their investigations or anything. If you want to come in, you must register carefully, and those who use false identities will be killed directly. Now this is the capital of Uruk, not a ninja village, there is no need to hide it so closely. If you dare to destroy here, then I will personally pay back to them. Uzumaki Mizuki to Uchiha Fugaku. Come in or not, investigate intelligence or something, there is no threat to him. From the moment he officially became king, the world has entered the level of nuclear bomb treatment. For him now, the Kingdom of Fire naturally has no resistance, but the manpower is really not enough now. The second is that I don't want to become an enemy of the ninja world so quickly. Cultivate health and rest, let yourself develop. At the same time, cultivate enough talents to take over the emperor's land and population. Yes, Uzumaki Mizuki said so. Uchiha Fugaku naturally has no opinion. Rebellion. Uchiha Itachi. Some time ago, Sarutobi Hiruzen contacted him and asked him to find a way to bring that Uchiha Madara back and attack Uchiha. During this time, the other party is very likely to appear. Then Uchiha Fugaku said. When he said this, his face was naturally not very good looking. After all, this traitor is his own son, but he was relieved when he knew that Uchiha Itachi was connected with Uzumaki Mizuki and handed Shisui's Mangekyo to Uzumaki Mizuki. My son seems to be saved. Arrange the white-eyed team to conduct a comprehensive sweep of the inside and outside of the village. Leave this matter to me, and I will give this Uchiha Madara a little surprise. When Uzumaki Mizuki heard this, his face finally changed. Excitement and killing intent. Uchiha Fugaku sees both emotions. Yes, Uchiha Fugaku should go. 66. Killing a teacher is a very common thing. Sanin and Obito, the fastest to come back is Jiraiya. After all, he is still Konoha's ninja. Although he left because he couldn't get used to some things in the village, he was also an intelligence ninja and had been providing various information to the village. A ninja found me, but they didn't come to ask me about my situation. Has something really happened to Konoha? Now let me approach so easily, is it because you want to lure me in, and then do it? Jiraiya felt a little uneasy. The news of Konoha's accident spread throughout the ninja world. He didn't think it was fake news, but now, Konoha's defenses are so loose here, and he clearly knows that he has bad intentions. But it's still so simple to let him in. Soon arrived at the familiar Konoha gate. You are, Lord Jiraiya. If you want to enter the village, you need to register first. The iron at the door recognized Jiraiya at a glance. But not long after the smile appeared, it stopped quickly, and then spoke with some confusion. I just need to register, can I go in? Jiraiya asked. Yes. The situation now is similar to the past, and it is more relaxed. It's just that Konoha has become an independent country, from a subsidiary of the Fire Nation, which is different from the previous ninja village's requirements, and is a little more relaxed. Kodzuki Izumo said, for Jiraiya, everyone naturally admires and gives a certain amount of respect. And what was said was not a secret. It is to help Jiraiya understand the current situation and prevent him from doing anything out of the ordinary. Third generation. Is he really dead? Jiraiya nodded, then asked hesitantly. After all, in his opinion, how could this old man who didn't know how much he knew could miss and be dealt with in Konoha? Yes. Already buried. A lot of people went there, but Wong didn't stop them. Steel Iron said, the person died, and Uzumaki Mizuki didn't want to let him die without a whole body. After all, someone else killed his parents. Your king, the surname is Whirlpool, isn't it? Jiraiya didn't expect that so much information could be obtained so easily. Did the other party really never think that he would come to attack Konoha? Yes. Advertisement. The two nodded. Jiraiya didn't ask any more questions. He wanted to see it all for himself. It was easy to check in. Jiraiya entered the familiar village. It was found that there was not much change, but the number of people entering and leaving the village was a little bit more. All the way to Hokage Rock here. The Hokage building is gone. However, the residue or something has been cleaned up. Now it's just an empty lot. I looked up and found that there seemed to be a house on top of Hokage Rock. Before he could think about going up, he was stopped by someone. Master Jiraiya, it belongs to the area of the royal palace and cannot be approached. Kakashi stopped Jiraiya. Seeing Kakashi, Jiraiya was very surprised. However, he found that there were no ninjas around him. Boom. It's amazing. It's so simple to be able to separate so many points. Naruto looked at the 3 shadow clones that he had created after using Shadow Clone, and he didn't feel any difficulty. This technique is much easier to learn than the avatar technique. During training, you can split out one more shadow clone to practice together, so that you can gain more experience, but the physical burden is also heavy. Now that your body is growing, you can't bear too much. After you are 12 years old, you can use more than 3 shadow clones to exercise. Uzumaki Mizuki explained to Naruto. In addition to practicing by himself, he also guided Naruto by the way. Now there are not so many restrictions, let him learn what he can learn naturally. The ninja school has now begun to teach C-level ninjutsu, but Shadow Clone is a B-level ninjutsu, which is more chakra. It's not the manpower that the ninja school would teach, so Uzumaki Mizuki taught it himself. Naturally, Naruto has no objections. Removed 2 Shadow Clone, leaving only 1, and then the 2 continued to practice treading water together. The technique of Flying Thunder God is really difficult. As for Uzumaki Mizuki himself, during this period of time, in addition to gymnastics training, more energy was put on Flying Thunder God. Other families know the importance of this technique, and the whirlpool water will naturally not miss it. But it's not that easy to master. This is the most original version, the 2nd generation version. It's not an improved 4th generation version, so you need to have enough talent to learn it. Advertisement. It is not something that can be done overnight if you want to achieve the level of self-defeating your father. Asking for flowers. Now the practice is the most basic, to send the items away. The 2nd stage is to determine the coordinates. The 3rd stage is to lock the position of the coordinates and transfer the items. Then I dared to experiment with myself. After all, this technique is very risky. Maybe if I teleport my body up and down separately, it will be over, or it will be stuck in the wall. Wong, I heard that you were looking for me. But at this time, a confident man wearing a green tights and a watermelon head appeared. It's about the technique of 8 inner gates formation developed by your father. I want to use the former 3rd gate as a taijutsu training course for the ninja school. After all, it is your family's art. If you take it away, I will give you compensation. Do you have anything you want? Zero Uzumaki Mizuki asked Might Guy. This guy, when he was doing Sarutobi Hiruzen, he wasn't there. When he came back, everything was over. In the end, I found that everyone surrendered to Uzumaki Mizuki. He refused. Challenge Uzumaki Mizuki. Then drive to the 6th gate. Uzumaki Mizuki finds a chance. The skylock is directly on the body, and then controlled by the Mangekyo illusion. After that, he put the deviation sword in front of him and the battle ended. At the 6th gate, the skylock could no longer bind him, and he almost tore off the skylock. When he opened the 7th gate, it would be really difficult to solve. There is no task to do now. Can I go to the ninja school to be this gym teacher? As Might Guy spoke, his eyes lit up. Looking at this confident guy, Uzumaki Mizuki is a little afraid that the student will be a little hot-blooded? Ro. Uzumaki Mizuki finally agreed, then watched the guy trot upside down and disappeared in front of him. Jiraiya is back, maybe she doesn't want to restore Konoha. Looking at Jiraiya under the Hokage rock, Uzumaki Mizuki is very calm. This person is genuinely good to Minato's children. It is completely different from Sarutobi Hiruzen, which has the nature of exploitation. It's just that he is the enemy who killed his teacher now, and I don't know how he will choose. But Uzumaki Mizuki thinks, it is very likely that it is easy to let go. After all, in this world, such things as killing teachers are very normal. 67. A remake of the Nine Tails Rebellion? Obito wants to do it again. In the end, Jiraiya didn't meet him. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't bother him, and let him wander around in Konoha. Now Konoha no longer has so many restrictions. Access is unrestricted except for this wood-style 3-story tower on Hokage Rock. During the period, many other people also mixed in. They are all investigating how this ninja village, which used to be the strongest in the ninja world, was destroyed. The second batch arrived, Obito and Uchiha Itachi. Orochimaru's side is far away, and he also has his own things to do, so he is not so fast. As for Tsunade, they stopped all the way, collecting information about the current Konoha, hesitating whether to come or not. There's no vigilance at all. Abandon the plan of Ninja Village and choose to become an independent country? On Obito's side, 267, easily captured a member of the city defense. After using the Sharingan to easily get the information, he directly twisted the opponent's neck and killed him. Uchiha Itachi didn't speak, he felt that the uneasiness suppressed above Konoha had disappeared. Because during the period, he saw that the people of the Uchiha clan and the people of Konoha did not have those barriers, and the two sides seemed to treat each other equally. That's all he wanted to see. Do you have any ideas? Do you do it directly? Also, your father seems to have Mangekyo Sharingan too, you don't know the news? Obito and Itachi, in a remote corner of Konoha. It is easy for them to hide and not be discovered by the city defense. I don't know at all. I have always been ignorant of my father's strength, because the chances of Uchiha being able to fight are very few. Uchiha Itachi said. He also just knew the news. I don't even know my father has activated Mangekyo. If I really took action at that time and planned to exterminate the Uchiha clan, if I met my father, then I would probably fail. Since Konoha is like this, there is no need to exist. Besides Uchiha, it's buried with everyone else. Your Mangekyo is an illusion type. I will leave it to you to control the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, and I will deal with the others to buy you time. Obito said directly to Uchiha Itachi. Anyway, this world will reappear in Infinite Tsukuyomi. Then, it's okay to destroy it. It is no longer Konoha's place, and there is no point in keeping it. In addition to the fact that it can be eliminated at any time, he feels that he should not miss this opportunity. Wouldn't that be very risky? Advertisement. It's not that the opponent is powerless to resist now, they have defeated Third Hokage's leader, and they must have something to rely on. Uchiha Itachi naturally didn't want this. Now he is almost watched dead, and there is no chance to inform the village at all. If something happens to Nine Tails Jinchuriki, the consequences will be serious. Try it, it doesn't matter if you fail, or are you scared? Obito, wearing a mask, turned his head to look at Uchiha Itachi. The only hole on the mask revealed a red light. No, it just feels too risky. Uchiha Itachi said very calmly. Obito chuckled secretly. He naturally knew there was something wrong with Uchiha Itachi. But he doesn't care. This kind of feeling that makes the other party struggle very much makes him enjoy it very much. Then it's settled. I don't know if that child from the Uzumaki clan is the cover of the Uchiha clan. Obito said directly. Itachi couldn't say anything more, but just nodded slightly. But the heart is really anxious, thinking about how to pass on the information. The news of the disappearance of the city defense team members was quickly discovered. Kakashi immediately arranged a white-eyed team and began to investigate the situation. Uchiha Fugaku is also very concerned about this matter, and arranges all staff to be vigilant. He felt that there was a good chance that it was the Uchiha Madara who came. What happened? Jiraiya has been in this Konoha for 2 days. Gradually became familiar with the situation. He even saw first generation, but he didn't go up to say hello. Be very careful, Obito, a little surprised. And seeing the Hyuga clan almost use the white eyes without any scruples, I feel that I don't have the seriousness of Konoha in the past. The 3 white Zetsu were all found, but they sneaked into the ground and escaped directly. Absolutely here too. He is in charge of gathering intelligence. Advertisement, but it's difficult. Those who mix in normally can easily inquire about the situation. But for someone like him who likes to sneak in the most, it is very troublesome. The white eyes scanned for almost a long time, and after discovering the situation, it was even a large-scale investigation. It has a great influence on him. It seems that tonight's operation may not be very smooth. That being said, the Obito is pretty darn easy, because Kamui brought him a sense of self-confidence, too much. 4th Mizukage is in his hands, successfully controlled 9 tails and destroyed Konoha. The only thing is that I lost money under 4th Hokage, but the opponent is already dead. But he thought it was very easy to escape, so he had the confidence to go for it. For him now, there's a feeling of playing a game, and he can start over at any time. He feels that the things that have been destroyed can reappear in infinite Tsukuyomi in the future. Get the 9 tails first, and it is very likely that there are people from the Uzumaki family, golden chains, such as adamantine sealing chains. If they are caught, it will be very troublesome. Absolutely said at the end. It feels like the news that came out seems to be somewhat true. Most importantly, the news that an 8-year-old child defeated Sarutobi Hiruzen and controlled Konoha is a bit too fantastical. Therefore, I definitely think that it is very possible that there is some strong man left in the Uzumaki clan, who has joined forces with the Uchiha clan. He, like Sarutobi 5.2 Hiruzen, is bewitched. After all, no one would believe that an 8-year-old child is really that strong. Okay. Take action at 2 o'clock in the morning today. Before that, let's take a rest. Obito said to Itachi. At this time, the 3 of them were all outside the range of Konoha. After all, for Obito, if he wants to get in, it is very simple through Kamui, and there is no pressure at all. Okay. Uchiha Itachi was very anxious at this moment. But I don't know what to do, he dared not deliver the message. Because he felt that the guy named Zhu was everywhere. 68. I even hugged you, tonight, you don't need to watch tonight. Kakashi said to Uchiha Fugaku. The 2 are near Hokage Rock. There are about dozens of ninjas scattered around. The Uchiha clan is mostly. Next is the Hyuga family, and then there is a group of Ino Shikacho. Basically it's for warning, trouble may arise recently, be careful. Naturally, Uchiha Fugaku didn't make it clear, said that he suspected that his son might show up with the guy who attacked Konoha. Ordinary people should not be our king's opponents. Kakashi wondered. He didn't even feel that he was here to protect Uzumaki Mizuki. It's more like helping to give an early warning. There is also a Jinchuriki to protect, but now there is no such thing as a Jinchuriki. As everyone knows, the 2 brothers are descendants of the 4th Hokage. Is the son of a hero. It is also because of this that the villagers are not so rebellious against Uzumaki Mizuki's rule. Coupled with several policies introduced by Uzumaki Mizuki, it is indeed of great help to ordinary people, so ordinary people have begun to support Uzumaki Mizuki. Uchiha Madara, he may come back and attack Konoha. Uchiha Fugaku thought about it, and still revealed some information. Avoid Kakashi's side, will act carelessly, the guy who started the 9 Tails rebellion. Hearing this, Kakashi was startled, but as soon as they finished speaking, both of them tensed up. The news was exposed. Or is it Uchiha Itachi, an undercover agent sent by you? Obito slowly emerged from the distorted space. When Kakashi and Uchiha Fugaku turned their heads, Obito appeared in front of them. Looking at this masked guy, the 2 dared not be careless. Appeared. Be careful of his ability, time and space type. Attacks can penetrate his body, but before touching any objects, you have to return your body from the different space to the present world. Uchiha Fugaku immediately explained to Kakashi. This information was told by Uzumaki Mizuki when he said that Uchiha Madara might come. You know me very well, it seems that Konoha has collected a lot of information before. Advertisement Obito was a bit surprised here, however, this information can be known not long after fighting with oneself. It's a pity that we can't be caught off guard, boom boom boom. At the same time, there are detonators around and explode directly. This is Obito's home-brewed attack using the white Zetsu brought by Kamui. The target was the 3 floors protected by everyone. Hateful. Whizzing, Kakashi's face was ugly. But Uchiha Fugaku has already launched an attack, and 2 kunai directly passed through Oda's body. But he immediately rushed directly towards Obito, and at the same time the Sharingan of Sanbuyu also turned into Mangekyo. No need to hide his strength anymore, he felt as if the shackles had been broken. To be the patriarch of this second family must be a bit strong. Obito didn't dare to be careless either. After all, he didn't know what the opponent's Mangekyo Sharingan pupil technique was. On Kakashi's side, he also used Shuriken to interfere with Obito's hollow. Focus on me and you'll regret it. The target of my visit this time is not you. Obito watched the attack of the 2 calmly, without blinking his eyes. As long as you don't fight back, the other party has nothing to do with you. But he had to care about himself, because he could easily appear behind anyone at any time and take his life away. 1 minute. Uchiha Fugaku timed Obito hollow. Uzumaki Mizuki also told him that the time to maintain this penetration is about 5 minutes. It's just that he didn't tell Kakashi just now, because he wanted to paralyze the enemy in front of him. Kakashi, you go over there. But Obito's words still made Uchiha Fugaku a little concerned. After all, the glory of the Uchiha clan is all hoped by Uzumaki Mizuki at this time. So absolutely nothing will happen. Kakashi nodded, then rushed towards the castle without hesitation. Perhaps, you underestimate me a little. Obito, of course, will not let Kakashi go so easily. For him, it's just a game. Whether you can get 9 tails or not is not that important. Advertisement, just be happy. See Obito rushing towards Kakashi. Uchiha Fugaku followed without hesitation. Just as Obito's arm was about to grab Kakashi's back, Uchiha Fugaku held kunai directly and stabbed Obito through his body. And Obito changed hands and grabbed Uchiha Fugaku. Take it to Kamui's space and he wins, starved to death. No other operations are required. Whoosh! But when Obito's palm was about to catch Uchiha Fugaku, another attack came. Obito stopped grabbing and kunai flew straight through his head. He turned his head and glanced, but found no other ninjas. At this time, those ninjas who were responsible for protecting Uzumaki Mizuki all went to the side of the castle, and no one was scattered. Is this what your Mangekyo Sharingan is capable of? Obito guessed right away that it was Uchiha Fugaku's fault. But he doesn't know whether the other party can control the things he touches, or can only control ninja tools, or something else. Somewhat vague, but the matter of controlling item attacks is confirmed. I have no intention of explaining my abilities to the enemy. Uchiha Fugaku continues to throw all kinds of ninja tools, trying to consume Obito's hollow time. Clang! 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 But suddenly, both of them were attracted by the vibration from afar. 3 huge skylocks were inserted directly into the ground. And Uzumaki Mizuki, as always, stepped on the skylock, and at the same time protected Naruto with the skylock, standing in midair. At the same time, another figure appeared directly beside Obito. Missed, that child, there's indeed a problem. Uchiha Itachi said to Obito. Obito raised his head and looked at the somewhat familiar blonde hair in midair. I once held these 2 children in my arms, are you kidding me? But at the same time, he didn't believe that one of these 2 children could defeat Sarutobi Hiruzen. Shouldn't strength be accumulated step by step? Is it the same as yourself, hung up? 69. Kakashi is an obstacle. I was planning to spend time looking for you in the future, but I didn't expect you to appear first, Uchiha Obito. Uzumaki Mizuki slowly fell from midair. When it was 10 centimeters away from the ground, the skylock disappeared and fell directly on the ground. Looking at Obito and Itachi, he spoke directly. What did you say? He is Obito, Kakashi asked in shock. Looking at the masked man in disbelief, he looked up and down. Very excited, but felt a tight heart. If he was Obito, what did he do? This made him unable to understand. Who are you talking about? I don't know this person. Likewise, Obito was taken aback. His pupils shrank, and he asked in a very hoarse voice. However, his head was already spinning rapidly, thinking about how his identity was exposed. That identity has obviously been abandoned, and now he is Uchiha Madara. But this child, why would he know? When I was born, I really thank you for sending me a few detonation talismans. This kind of kindness, I will never forget it in my life. So, are you ready to die? Uzumaki Mizuki naturally has no obligation to explain. Immediately after waking up, before he could figure out the situation, a detonating talisman was attached to his body. That was the closest he was to death in his life. It is also because of this that he has been very careful not to reveal any secrets about himself. I don't want to make myself special and be noticed by others. This world faces death at any time, which was taught by Naoshin. Do you remember what happened back then? Obito froze. Because at that time everyone on the field was killed by him. The only survivors on the field were these 2 brothers. So when he was born, he was conscious. Whoosh. But in response to him, 2 skylocks passed through his body. Leave this guy to me, and you guys deal with Uchiha Itachi. Advertisement. The others retreated and told Naruluju to watch the inside of the village and make sure nothing happened. Uzumaki Mizuki to Fugaku, and Kakashi. Then he said to the guards around him. Who knows the purpose of Obito's visit this time? Do you want to capture Naruto directly, or have other ideas? If pain also comes, then it will be very troublesome. Yes, on Uchiha Fugaku's side, of course, he didn't have any objections, and directly attacked his son. Are you really Obito? But Kakashi is still obsessed with this issue. You can get an answer if you scold Nohara Lin, Uzumaki Mizuki said calmly. However, golden halos continuously appeared behind him, and the skylock kept appearing. He's wasting Obito's hollow time. UB******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* only point in his heart that no one can touch. Although at this time he thinks everything can be restored through infinite Tsukuyomi. But it's not accessible to anyone, being fooled by others, and still acting like a god, it's disgusting. Uzumaki Mizuki said bluntly. At the same time, he opened his hand and held the deviation sword EA in his hand. Apart from consuming Hollow's time, the only way he can attack Obito is to use the power of the deviation sword. Tier space. It's just that this requires an opportunity, and the other party doesn't have to escape so quickly. I just wanted to have fun, but now, you must die. Obito is angry here. Charged directly towards Uzumaki Mizuki. The dense locks of the sky passed through his body directly. When he wanted to touch Uzumaki Mizuki, the dense skylocks almost covered his body. Now that his spiritual attribute has reached 800, his mana recovery rate per second is 400. Just the consumption of ordinary skylock, there is almost no pressure on him. This is the level of a Rasengan per second. Is it only to this extent? No wonder I could only watch Nohara Lin die at the beginning. Advertisement Uzumaki Mizuki provoked him unceremoniously. Naruto behind him is still the same as last time, he is dreaming a dream because of the illusion. Until Naruto has no power to protect himself, he can only do this. Illusion Sharingan. Obito was irritated and even angrier. But the Skylock came out fast, let alone around Uzumaki Mizuki. Obito couldn't find any chance to touch Uzumaki Mizuki at all. Therefore, he could only use the illusion that he was not good at. He thinks that Uzumaki Mizuki is so young, it is impossible for him to be so powerful in all aspects. Illusion Sharingan. One of the golden halos behind Uzumaki Mizuki, Shisui's Sharingan appeared, also using illusion. Obito's illusion, hitting Uzumaki Mizuki, was directly broken by the amulet of breaking the commandments of all things pinned on his waist. The illusion performed by Uzumaki Mizuki made Obito fall into a trance. But within half a second, Obito still woke up. The Skylock is less than 5 centimeters away from his body. This made him feel a little scared. What happened to that Sharingan? Obito just couldn't figure it out. Why is the Sharingan floating in midair able to use illusions freely? The power seems to be stronger than his own. If it wasn't for my Sharingan reaching the level of Mangekyo, I guess I couldn't wake up so quickly just now. Obito, answer me. Why did you do that? Why did you attack the teacher and Mrs. Kushina? But at this time, Kakashi on the side broke out, charged directly towards Obito. The face is full of anger. Kakashi has basically confirmed that this masked man is Obito. But he can't figure it out. Why would Obito do this 7? I'm not in the mood for a play, but Uzumaki Mizuki directly used the Skylock to tie Kakashi, who was caught off guard. Kakashi and Obito are entangled, so it is difficult for him to play the best effect. If there are more individuals, it will be an obstacle instead. So it's better to solve it by yourself first, so as to avoid sending people's heads and hindering yourself. 70. Then you are in the dark, never come out. Obito was also stunned by Uzumaki Mizuki's move. Unexpectedly, Uzumaki Mizuki will attack Kakashi first. Kakashi's side stared at Obito's side. That man never came every time we were in danger. When I die, and when Lin dies, Obito, wearing a mask, couldn't help but refute Kakashi in the end. He doesn't think he is wrong. Such a powerful ninja also has a flying thunder god who can reach his disciples at any time. However, when it is dangerous, it will never be there. How could Obito, who already hated the whole world, not blame Minato? But Mr. Minato, he didn't do it on purpose. He also had a task to solve at that time. Kakashi argued loudly. He couldn't accept seeing his former friend turn into this. Do you think what you see is the truth? It's just being lied to. You're living in a lie. Nohara Lin died because of you. She is just implicated by you. Uchiha Madara is eyeing you, making you a toolman, in order to keep you in the dark, just like what you did with Uchiha Itachi. He himself pushed you into the darkness. Uzumaki Mizuki is telling the truth here. The attack of the Skylock has not stopped, it has been passing through Obito's body. There is only one chance, so Uzumaki and Mizuki can't miss it. If you miss, Obito will definitely not give the second direct, and will run away immediately. What did you say? You're lying, it can't be true. Obito asked in disbelief, but immediately fell into a rage. He didn't believe that Lin was killed by himself. Can't believe the result either, because if that's true, what has he been working on all this time? Obito charged again towards Uzumaki Mizuki. But still the same, there is no gap in the Skylock. Although Obito was angry, he didn't lose his mind. Why does he know so many things? Never hide it aside. He was shocked that this kid knew so many things. Why did people know about things that only he and Uchiha Madara knew? At this time, he somewhat regretted it, didn't investigate any more information, just came here. Get into this situation. Advertisement whether Obito, a toolman, can continue to be used, is not clear to him at this time. So strong. A reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths? Black Zetsu was shocked. This kid's strength is ridiculously strong. No one knows exactly what the chains are capable of. After being tied up, can't they use hollow? Obito stopped. He can't find a hole. The opponent's attacks were too dense, and he didn't know what the chains could do. So dare not touch it easily. Is there no other way? It's the same as the scene when I watched Nohara Lin die. Painful? Hoping to impose that feeling on someone else? Uzumaki Mizuki keeps sending out questions, asking for laning. Weapons that destroy space are not cheap. If you can buy it now, Uzumaki Mizuki will take it out and kill Obito without hesitation. Shut up. Obito is angry, but he found that there was nothing he could do about this child. You escaped this time, and you won't be able to escape next time. I'll gather the Jinchuriki faster than you can, then take the Rinnegan and ruin your plans. Let you taste the taste of despair again. Uzumaki Mizuki was also genuinely angry. Although it is possible that he was ordered to attack his own cheap parents. But it could also be Obito's own will. Since I like darkness, I will stay in that kind of place for the rest of my life, and don't crawl out. Suddenly, a white Zetsu popped out of the ground. Next to Obito, speak to him. Boom. But a Skylock rushed directly towards this white Zetsu. At the top of the Skylock, CFCA, there is also a Rasengan condensed, which directly hits white Zetsu's face. Headshot him straight away. Want to escape? You want to taste that powerless feeling again, don't you? Uzumaki Mizuki was talking. The deviant sword in his hand also spun. Advertisement on Kakashi's side. Although he is very angry with Obito, he doesn't want to see Obito die. Surrender Obito, you are no match for the king. Seeing the deviant sword that was making a harsh sound, Kakashi directly opened his mouth and shouted to Obito. Shut up, you piece of shit, Kakashi. Obito glared at Kakashi angrily. At this point he has regained his physical body and is increasing his hollow time. He thought no one knew the secret. Leave now? He did not want. This guy knows too much. At the same time, it completely d him off. But what made his head even more confused at this time was that Uzumaki Mizuki said before that Lin died because of Uchiha Madara. This made him very concerned, because during this period of time, after his strength became stronger, he felt something was wrong. When Kirigakure was doing old work, he didn't find out about the plan to use Lin as a tailed beast bomb at that time. Try it and see if you can catch my move. How about I tell you more facts, if I can? Including the fact of why Lin died. Uzumaki Mizuki held the deviation sword, his body was wrapped in dark red rotating energy. It's like an electric fan tied with a ribbon. Any attack is ineffective against me. You can't hurt me at all, Obito continued to speak confidently. However, the tone became heavy. He didn't think the other party would speak lies at this time. This trick must be about techniques such as time and space. Time of judgment. Tear the world apart with my deviant sword, let's take it. Heaven and earth, leave Pai Ji Xing. Uzumaki Mizuki waved the deviation sword without hesitation. The dark red was compressed into the magic power of ultimate, and instantly burst out like a laser. Obito feels the breath of death, want to escape. Kakashi didn't have time to speak. The red light seems to have swallowed Obito. Then, a red light directly cut through the sky above Konoha. About a kilometer away from the village, it hit a mountain peak and exploded directly. A mushroom cloud rose instantly. 71. No one knows Uchiha better than him. Kakashi stared blankly at the place where Obito disappeared. A gully was drawn on the ground by the energy. If the move that Wong released just now was not above the Hokage rock, but on the ground of Konoha. The entire Konoha will probably be pierced through, the same result as the Nine Tails tailed beast bomb. Uzumaki and Mizuki don't know either, the hit is not free. However, he saw ripples in the space, which seemed to have an effect on the space. It's just that he used the minimum magic power injection just now, and at the same time compressed and selected single target attacks, so it should only cause damage to the space covered by the light. But the repair speed is very fast, so I can only see the ripples in this space. Sharingan reissue. However, Uzumaki Mizuki has been watching with Sharingan just now, using it to remember the scene just now. After reading the picture recorded by Sharingan just now, it is much clearer than what he saw with his own eyes. Is it just a shoulder injury? Uzumaki Mizuki clearly saw that Obito was submerged in the ground. And feeling the danger, he turned his body sideways ahead of time, and fell down, as if there was no gravity. Finally, the scapula of the left shoulder directly engulfed. At the same time, cracks appeared in the space. I haven't seen any information about Obito since then. It is possible to be affected by space tearing and die directly. It is also possible that he survived. Uzumaki Mizuki leaned and Obito survived. It was in his character to prepare for the worst. This power is still very strong, but it's not ninjutsu, but it's caused by the weapon in your hand? Senju Hashirama emerged from the shadows. Not long after the battle started, he came. It's just that I have been watching from the side, and there is no crime. Because I don't think it's necessary. It's all your fault. If you had listened to Uchiha Madara, he wouldn't have come this far. Find an agent and execute his shit plan. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't take kindly to Senju Hashirama. What's the plan? But Senju Hashirama didn't care, but asked curiously. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't say anything, just to make you feel bad. Stop it, Fugaku, Itachi. Itachi is mine, please arrange for Fugaku to re-register his identity. Hitaki Kakashi Uric Empire's city defense commander's position is revoked, and Bao Zibo Itachi will be in charge. Let Kakashi go to farm. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly to the two fathers and sons who were still in line over there. Kakashi's position was also revoked. Advertisement. If he wasn't a disciple of his own cheap father, Uzumaki Mizuki would definitely be planning to lock him up. But thinking of his younger brother, he is also an impulsive guy. It seems that he should have inherited the character of his cheap mother. Uchiha Fugaku naturally has no objections. On the other hand, Itachi remained silent. He was still shocked to see Uzumaki Mizuki beat the masked man with his own eyes. But soon relieved. If you don't have such power, how did you get Konoha? Kakashi was silent. He has no objection, because he really violated the king's order. However, he couldn't figure out why Odai was like this. Related to Uchiha Madara. Come out, Jiraiya. Uzumaki Mizuki, after dealing with Kakashi, turned around and said to another person not far away. Such a big movement naturally alarmed Jiraiya. Especially in the afternoon, with so many people patrolling, it naturally attracted attention. Are you really Minato and Kushina's child? Jiraiya came out from the shadows and couldn't help asking. Yes. Are you coming back to avenge your master Sarutobi Hiruzen, or are you going to take a look and leave? Uzumaki Mizuki nodded and admitted directly, then asked Jiraiya back. Now Jiraiya is not worth much. If you want to fight Uzumaki Mizuki can go up by himself. There is also Senju Hashirama, who has been working for nothing, and he is not polite if he can go whoring for nothing. For Jiraiya the requirements are not so great. In Sannin, the only thing he cares about is Orochimaru. He still remembers the fact that technology is the primary productive force. You are so mature, Jiraiya wanted to say, are you a monster? But this word still did not say finally, a disciple of the monkey? Senju Hashirama is very interested here. He also noticed Jiraiya today, but didn't pay much attention to it. Unexpectedly, this person is actually a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Follow the rules, no one will control you, chat yourselves, keep your voice down, we're going to sleep. Ask for flowers, Zero Uzumaki Mizuki said finally. Advertisement in the end, they ignored the two of them, and took Naruto directly, and went back to get ready to rest. First Hokage. Do you think there is anything wrong with that kid? See Uzumaki Mizuki disappear. Jiraiya couldn't help asking. Well, I think it's very problematic, however, what can you do if you have a problem? Did you beat him? Senju Hashirama replied seriously. Then asked Jiraiya back. At this word, Jiraiya paused. I thought I might give it a try, but seeing the attack similar to the tailed beast bomb just now, he thought, forget it. The body loses a lot of blood. If it wasn't for the enhancement of white Zetsu and first-generation cells before, you should be dead now. Zero Ju looked at Obito who was being treated by 2 white Zetsu and said directly. Obito roared like a beast, it hurts so much. The wound was less than 5 centimeters from the heart. In the end, it wasn't that Ju answered him, he should have lost blood and died. I must take revenge. Let him try. Try the taste of despair. Obito growled, but in his heart, he was extremely calm. Originally, there was no trust in him, but at this time it was raised to the extreme. If you turn your face at this time, then you will die. The opponent will definitely choose Nagato as his replacement. He wants revenge. No matter who killed Lin, he wants to find the truth and take revenge. Think about living first, Ju said in a male duck voice. At the same time, other ideas came into his mind. When Uzumaki Mizuki spoke, he was not far away, and he could hear it clearly. He doesn't believe that Obito has no thoughts in his heart. It's just that right now, the right tool is not good for me. The most important thing is that the people of the Uchiha clan are too paranoid, and it is not enough to rely on the heart surgery technique left by Uchiha Madara to control him. There isn't enough to drive Uchiha crazy, and it's easy to backfire. After all, no one knows Uchiha better than him. 72. They all want to attack Konoha, but they are afraid of being attacked. The next day, the village was a little chaotic, but after knowing that the king had dealt with the enemy, he settled down again. There is no need to tell ordinary people about these things, just let them do what they should do. If he hadn't taken care of ordinary people yesterday, Uzumaki Mizuki would have directly used the deviation sword to tear apart the space, covering thousands of meters around him, without giving Obito a chance to escape. However, on the high-level side, Kakashi was suddenly replaced by Uchiha Itachi, and they were somewhat concerned. Because the Uchiha family is responsible for too much authority. However, due to Uzumaki Mizuki's deterrence, they did not dare to say more. But I have some ideas in my heart. Uzumaki Mizuki is not interested in what they think or what. With Naruto's current body, it's hard to control 9 tails. Vortex. 060, Mizuki asked Senju Hashirama. Naruto's own combat power is too weak now, but now he is still laying the foundation. But Obito's side is really troublesome. In case of staring at Naruto, it will be a headache. If Naruto can control 9 tails chakra, then he can somewhat protect himself. If he was like you, it would be easy. Now he has too little control over himself. Even if you simply give him 9 tails chakra, it won't work. It's not like a child holding a kunai at all, it's more like an ant holding a kunai. Can't do it. Senju Hashirama explained directly. Controlling 9 tails is not difficult for Uzumaki Mizuki and Senju Hashirama. A Skylock, plus a Mangekyo Sharingan. The other one can hold 9 tails with one hand without any experience at all. But for Naruto, it's still too far away. Can 9 tails be drawn out without injury? Uzumaki Mizuki asked next. Take this thing out and keep it, and put it back in when Naruto is strong enough. On the contrary, my cheap father still has half of it in his stomach, and if he loses it, he can replace it. Chakra is compatible, strip 9 tails, Naruto will die. Senju Hashirama replied. Okay. Uzumaki Mizuki no longer harbors that thought. Advertisement: we can only slowly cultivate Naruto to increase his strength, and reach Shunen's strength as soon as possible, and then we can try to use 9 tails chakra. So, what exactly did Uchiha Madara do? How did the one with the mask get tricked by Madara? It's Senju Hashirama's turn to ask questions. Then, Uzumaki Mizuki released Shadow Clone and disappeared directly. Annoying brat. Senju Hashirama didn't expect to be cheated. Standing where I am, I can't laugh or cry. In Konoha, there are more and more spies. But they didn't dare to make trouble, Tien Fen calculated in his mind. There were also quite a few who wanted to die, and wanted to get close to the house on the Hokage rock, but were directly killed on the spot. Uzumaki and Mizuki demanded of them that there was no need to leave them alive. Anyway, the enemy is nothing more than the whole world. Always call. The news about Konoha's interior spread quickly. The Fire Country Daimyo is very angry. The combat power that has been cultivated with so many years of money is gone in one fell swoop. As a result, now they can only recruit a team of wandering ninjas to form a borderline, which is very difficult for the safety of the Country of Fire. Recently, there have been many ninjas from other countries who have driven straight in and broke in. When other ninja villages around got the news, there was some commotion. There are no restrictions on the genin technique for Class B? Including some family secrets, you can also learn at will? With enough contribution value, you can exchange forbidden technique? This information almost made those spies in Konoha cry. That ninja acquired ninjutsu without going through untold hardships and risking his life. Now that Konoha has figured out how to sell it, the value of ninjutsu has shrunk from Lin Chilling to Luo Yufeng's. Only a group of ninjas headed by Sarutobi Hiruzen died, and the other ninjas were not seriously injured. Then Konoha's strength has not shrunk too much compared to before. Onoki put down the information. The Country of Fire is stuck in the middle of the ninja world, and may face threats from the other 4 major countries at any time. Advertisement, but now there is an extra Uric Empire, stuck inside the Land of Fire. This was originally a good thing for neighboring countries. However, the actions of this Uric made the shadows of the other 3 major villages very concerned. Kirigakure is still in civil strife, and has no interest in paying attention to other things. It's a very innovative idea, but if you do this, you're making enemies of the entire ninja world. Onoki also cared about open ninjutsu, because this is the basis of family power among those ninjas. Now this foundation is likely to be trampled at any time. Only by killing this so-called Uric can it be resolved. These people who stand at the top of the ninja pyramid will naturally not refuse this matter. However, the Yin family is not in the same group. You must guard against other people, and avoid being attacked by others when you do it yourself. Not to mention that many people have hatred among them. Therefore, if you are tied up, you can't let go of your energy to do it. If Obito hadn't declared war at the beginning, but had come in sneakily, the success rate would have at least doubled. Very bold. But, 8-year-old? For 4th Reikage, he doesn't quite believe this. However, he agrees with this policy, because in Cloud Shinobi Village, the largest family is behind him, and the rest are actually not that big. And there are not too many ninjutsu in 4.2 in Cloud Shinobi Village, so the impact is minimal. So, 3rd Hokage is really dead. Tsunade lost Konoha as an ally. Luo Sha has a headache here. After all, they are allies. Should I help with revenge? But there is also the threat of Iwagakure. Everyone wants to eat the delicious strawberry Konoha. But they were afraid to stretch out their hands, and they were stabbed in the back with a knife. When the time comes, kill yourself first, Konoha. With his chest upright, Tsunade brought Shizune and a pig to the gate of Konoha. 73. Nemesis, Death of Danzo, Grandfather. Tsunade didn't expect that he hadn't had time to check the changes in Konoha first. Just came across one that surprised her. Oh, it really is Tsunade. When I sensed the breath, I still couldn't believe it. You have grown so big. Senju Hashirama patted Tsunade on the head cheerfully. The shot of Tsunade has no momentum. The grandpa and grandson are chatting. Uzumaki Mizuki is looking at the newly established Uric Research Institute. If you have a smart head, send it here as much as possible, improve various machines, and then produce. Civilian machinery first, after the weapon room, understand? Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. The person in charge of the laboratory is Yoshizuki Tono. That is, the scientific ninja developer where Boruto transferred. Wong, now we are even more lacking in sources of ninja tools. Without the help of the Nation of Fire, everyone's ninja tools are somewhat inadequate now. Tosuke Tono to Uzumaki Mizuki. He prefers to study scientific ninjutsu, and use a simpler method to use powerful ninjutsu. Just follow my orders, understand? Uzumaki Mizuki gave him a cold look. The king's order is not for questioning. Yes, 25. Tono Yoshizuki was frightened by Uzumaki Mizuki's eyes and broke into a cold sweat. Hastily replied, don't dare to think any more. Radios, as well as machinery for transportation, should be researched first. You can study ninjutsu of A level and below A level. If there is a shortage of talents, apply directly to Hyuga Haishi. Get out the finished product as soon as possible. After Uzumaki Mizuki finished speaking, he left directly. It is very convenient to use ninjutsu for farming or something. Cultivate land with earth style, water with water style, and cut with wind style. It is a little more troublesome to sow seeds and tie them up. Mining here is even simpler. On Hyuga's side, a mine has been found. Use earth style directly to push out the ore from the ground. Crush it on the spot, then fire style smelt it. Survival efficiency does not know how many times faster. Sealing with time and space scrolls is expensive, so Uzumaki Mizuki asked to make a device that improves the transportation force. The carriage is too slow. Radio is also used to improve communication efficiency. Now there are refrigerators and TVs, but the telephone is not widely used, which is really strange. Advertisement, however, the TV can only play videotapes and has no other functions. The task of the research institute is still relatively heavy, but there are not many talents, and a leader is still needed. Uzumaki Mizuki said helplessly after seeing the situation of the institute. Are you going to bring Orochimaru back, please? Uzumaki Mizuki asked Uchiha Itachi. Now that the village doesn't know what's going on outside, it might take a while to find Orochimaru. Uchiha Itachi nodded slightly, then replied. Meaning, grab Orochimaru's petty tricks, and trouble Orochimaru. Forget it, just wait for 2 years. In 2 or 3 years, my strength should not have many opponents in the ninja world. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't want to waste this time either. The most important thing is not necessary. Knowing that you will be invincible, why waste time? Obscene development is fine. Just relying on the points given by the Uruk territory every year, it is enough to exchange for a good thing for a year or 2. Didn't get the first generation cells from Orochimaru. This is for you. If you think your eyes are not working, try it. Uzumaki Mizuki opened the king's treasure house, took out a bottle of first generation cells and threw it at Itachi. Many thanks. Uchiha Itachi bowed his head in thanks. Danzo, do you want to kill yourself? He's being held in a dungeon now, and today I plan to get rid of him. Uzumaki Mizuki asked Uchiha Itachi. Danzo has not been resolved. Been busy all this time. In addition to cultivation, you also need to look at the affairs of Uruk. Most things are handled by Nara Shirju and Uchiha Fugaku. Nara is in charge of internal affairs, while Uchiha Fugaku is in charge of security issues. Uzumaki Mizuki is not interested in going to court every day like an emperor. Just confirm that there is no big problem with the big root, and then put forward your own requirements and let them do it with their lives. If you can, please let me come. Uchiha Itachi's mood fluctuated a little. This is the enemy who killed his best friend. He is also a character who wants to destroy Uchiha. Of course he hates it. Boom, then you take my shadow clone with you. Please don't let him die so happily. Uzumaki Mizuki split a shadow clone, and then gave the shadow clone the talisman of breaking the law of all things. He also has to look at Naruto now he is playing guard Athena. Or in other words, guarding his blackened seal. It doesn't feel like a big brother, more like being a father. However, there is only 1 or 2 years, and it happens that I can practice slowly. Advertisement watching Uchiha Itachi disappear with shadow clone. Uzumaki Mizuki continued to practice Flying Thunder God technique. Master, are you here? On Danzo's side, his whole body was bound by iron chains, and his body was covered with sealing spells. This was done by Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Uzumaki Mizuki didn't let anyone touch him. I released all the restrictions on him, made him sober, and took care not to let him make any noise. Uzumaki Mizuki said to Itachi. Yes, after Uchiha Itachi agreed, he immediately opened Mangekyo's Sharingan and looked at this enemy. I knew that the master would definitely come back to save me. Danzo also made a happy sound. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, very calmly, he gently touched his shoulder with the amulet that broke the commandments of all things. Clang. The iron chain tied to Danzo's body shattered directly. It fell on the ground and made a crisp sound. At the same time, the sealing technique that covered his head disappeared immediately, and the scroll shattered. Danzo froze for a moment. 367, then a look of despair appeared on his face. Looks like I remembered. I'll leave it to you, let him die a miserable death. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded. It is not a big problem to be able to crack the pupil technique. It's a pity that it can't be a bug. Let Shisui Mangekyo's distinguished heavenly gods cool down a little faster. Demon. You are the devil. How could Minato give birth to a child like you, who can do such a thing at the age of 8, and have such a mind? Danzo stared at Uzumaki Mizuki. For so many days, without enough food and drink, his body has long been extremely weak. Not as much resistance as imagined. Let you see the real horror. If you like the eyes of the Uchiha clan so much, then let you die under the power of these eyes. Tsukuyomi. Uchiha Itachi couldn't bear it and didn't give Danzo a chance to say more. Directly launched the pupil technique. Blood slid directly down the corner of the eye. Danzo was tortured for 3 days and 3 nights under the illusion, before he died completely. Burn the body. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded, affirmed Uchiha Itachi's approach. If it had been him, there would have been no means of torture, and he would probably have been killed directly. Killed Uchiha more, and finally died under Uchiha's hands. Nemesis unhappy. 74. Whoring ghouls for free. Orochimaru delivered to your door. After that, Uzumaki Mizuki handed over to Uchiha Itachi the remaining parts of the roots. It depends on whether he is willing to stay and be a subordinate, or directly destroy humanely. Uchiha Itachi was demoted to deputy, and Might Guy took over. Became the leader of the city defense. On Kakashi's side, Uzumaki Mizuki is going to let him continue farming, sober up. If you run away to find Obito yourself, then you don't have to worry about it in the future. There are actually quite a few people who defected. Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't care too much, though. Anyway, it will be my own in the future. Now that I have run away and been recorded, and I will still be alive in the future, then I have to consider the consequences. Finally met with Tsunade. It was brought by Senju Hashirama. Jiraiya, who came along with me, came along. We, the Senju clan, still have some legacy. It's impossible to have nothing. I think you should give us some land so little Tsunade can live. Senju Hashirama spoke righteously to Uzumaki Mizuki. Give those properties to the families in Konoha. 11. Why don't you go there yourself and ask each of them for a little bit? The Sarutobi, Shimura, and Ino Shikacho families should all be involved. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the sealed book as if nothing had happened. By the way, answer Senju Hashirama's words. Money and so on, he actually has a lot now, all of which were accumulated by Konoha before. It's just that if you take it away, there will be no money turnover. So it's not a fight, and Uzumaki Mizuki is not going to take that money. Getting it in your hand should add more than 30,000 magic points, but it will take some time to put it in. Usually, Uzumaki Mizuki can't spend any money. When you want money, the ground will have it for some reason. Those guys, how could they take money out? Tsunade snorted directly aside. What was unacceptable when leaving at that time was that the Senju clan suffered serious casualties. In addition, my lover and younger brother were sacrificed. At the same time, her proposal that each team be equipped with medical ninjas was also rejected. It completely disheartened her. Beat them if you don't pay them. With the first generation project here, are you afraid that you won't be able to beat them? Uzumaki Mizuki yawned. Advertisement reading will make him feel sleepy, no matter how much mental strength he has or how fast he is studying, but he always wants to yawn. Now Uzumaki Mizuki has come up with a trick of whoring for nothing. Use the ghoul seal, call out the ghosts and gods, and let him take out other people's souls. Then I use the talisman that breaks the commandments of all things to kill the ghosts and gods. It's a bit unreasonable, but it seems to be very useful, this trick. Hey, kid, I'm your elder, Kushina will call me aunt, please be polite to me. Tsunade said very hockey here, and the truth is exactly as she said. Then try it first, see if you can take my trick, and then I'm considering whether to call you an elder. Uzumaki Mizuki took out the deviation sword very calmly and said to Tsunade. Smelly brat, you be asterisk 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 d. Okay, come here, whoever is afraid of whom. With Senju Hashirama next to him, Tsunade was childish in no time. Standing straight up, Mizuki glared at Uzumaki and said loudly. Very bold. With my grandpa protecting me, no one is afraid of anyone. Calm down Tsunade. It will kill people. The attack is no worse than tailed beast bomb. Jiraiya quickly grabbed Tsunade. Little Tsunade, don't be angry, you can't beat him. Senju Hashirama also quickly persuaded. This granddaughter follows him, a bit naive. Tsunade, if you are interested in becoming the head of the medical department, you will be given hundreds of thousands of taels a month, and you will have a detached house to live in. Others, if you want to be in debt or something, go find those who took your things. Jiraiya, if you have time, go and get Orochimaru back, and I'll send you a note that the massage will be free forever. Uzumaki Mizuki put the sealed book and the deviant sword back into the king's treasury, and then spoke. Tsunade is great value. Top talents in the medical department. Jiraiya is a little worse, and he doesn't think much of it when he is asked to be Naruto's mentor in the future, fighting and so on. If you can get Orochimaru back, it's fine. That's it, little Tsunade. You can eat and drink enough in the future, don't gamble anymore. Senju Hashirama persuaded Tsunade here. Most importantly, Senju Hashirama wanted to gamble with his granddaughter shortly after meeting Tsunade. Advertisement I found out that my granddaughter was much more unlucky than myself, and owed a lot of debt. That's horrible. Although the granddaughter's strength is not bad, but he doesn't want Tsunade to rob. So it's better to find a job and support yourself. Humph. For grandpa's sake, I won't argue with him. Tsunade said with a cold snort. Uzumaki and Mizuki left without talking nonsense. He is going to take revenge on this woman in the future and make her work overtime like crazy. Mizuki, you just said that you want to bring Orochimaru back, did he provoke you? Jiraiya, on the other hand, took small steps to catch up with Uzumaki Mizuki, and asked him in a low voice. He has good scientific research ability, and I plan to let him manage scientific research. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't bother about Jiraiya calling him by his name. The current him is indeed a bit majestic and not enough. The passivity of the beautiful young girl is indeed a bit too friendly. Only those who have seen their own strength have fear in their hearts, and the group will respect themselves more. Jiraiya, on the other hand, didn't care that much. He studies the human body, and many people will die. Jiraiya said with a frown, isn't it okay if I get it, until he goes to study other aspects? Uzumaki Mizuki wondered. I'll try my best to catch him. Jiraiya had nothing to say. Can do, naturally is the best. Cut. Kang. Is someone talking about me? Is it Jiraiya that idiot? Konoha has become like this, he should come back. I don't know if he was caught, or you wanted to avenge the old man, or just bowed his head. Orochimaru used a very feminine face here, and the person who was registering at the gate of Konoha used a false identity to warm in easily. As soon as I came in, I sneezed. Then he directly locked in his heart who was discussing himself behind his back. 75. He must be Minato. Orochimaru wandered around Konoha for a day and collected a lot of information. There is no security in Ninja Village at all, it looks like an ordinary city. Is this going to break away from Ninja Village completely and become an independent country? However, if you don't have the strength to protect yourself, you will only be swallowed by others. Orochimaru commented on the current situation in Uruk. I think that if you persist for more than 10 years, it is very likely that you will be swallowed up by other ninja villages. However, he didn't really care about this place. To destroy is to destroy. He came here this time just to meet the person in charge of this place. Want to find out if it is Namikaze Minato or not. He is very concerned about this soul reincarnation technique. If this news is true, then it must be the truth. However, after using this technique, does her personality change? I never thought that someone like Minato would be so crazy. Orochimaru stood on the street of the commercial street, looking towards the house on Hokage Rock. Very conspicuous. He was somewhat scared this time. Because I know Uchiha 293 Itachi is also here. But he felt that he came to talk to Minato by himself, not to make trouble, so he shouldn't have too much trouble. Moreover, he felt that he had no problem with his ability to escape. The night was getting dark. Orochimaru easily slipped past the guards and sneaked directly into the forest next to Hokage Rock. Slowly sneaking towards the castle built by Senju Hashirama. Your smell, I will never forget it for the rest of my life. Come out, Orochimaru. It was Jiraiya, not Uchiha Itachi, who stopped him. Interesting, didn't you come here to avenge the old man? Orochimaru came out slowly from the ground. Looking at his long-lost old friend, he sneered directly. Run away. If caught, he is not a person who will soften his heart at will. Jiraiya gave Orochimaru a complicated look. Now Konoha village is still there, but Konoha Shinobi village is gone. Orochimaru is a rebel or not, and no one cares about it. Advertisement, but Uzumaki Mizuki won't let it go if they come to you. And the whirlpool water, CFBD, tree has been thinking about catching Orochimaru. Oh, do you think I'm the type to get caught casually? Or, do you think Minato has the ability to kill me? Orochimaru sneered, then asked Jiraiya, Minato, what Minato? Jiraiya was taken aback for a moment, then asked suspiciously. The matter of Minato's death is clear and unquestionable. He was back then. It's been almost 10 days since I came back, but I haven't seen anything about Minato either. Stop acting here, kid, that's what Minato has achieved with his own soul. Unless it is reported that the king of Uruk is a child, it is false news. As long as it is true, then it is only possible that Minato's soul turned into a corpse, or he did something else. On Orochimaru's side, he didn't hide this matter, and directly expressed his conjecture. Is this real? Jiraiya was dumbfounded, he couldn't believe it. That Minato would do something like encroach on his own child's body? No, at that time only Kushina was sure to die, Minato couldn't die at all, how could he do such a thing? But Jiraiya immediately dismissed the speculation. It's so unreasonable. What if it's for 9 tails and blood successor limits? Perhaps he also feels the limitations brought by his own body. After all, his talent is almost the same as mine, and his physical body greatly limits him. Orochimaru said confidently. With a friendly appearance, it is easy to pretend. But talent is different. No way. Jiraiya doubted herself a little. Thinking of Minato's usual attitude towards things, he doesn't look like that kind of person at all. Let me see him and I'll know. Aren't you going to stop me, or are you helping him in killing old man Sarutobi? Orochimaru looked at Jiraiya calmly, and asked him back. Jiraiya's face is tangled up here, he didn't want his friends to throw themselves into the trap. Advertisement however, he is very concerned about Orochimaru's speculation. Go ahead, if it doesn't work, just surrender, he won't kill you. Jiraiya is going to let Orochimaru try it. Anyway, in the end, my good friend will not die. Moved slightly out of position, as if to let Orochimaru pass. But it was Uzumaki Mizuki who walked over instead of letting Orochimaru walk over. How do you feel about what I just said, Minato? Orochimaru asked directly. It's all bullshit. After thinking about it for so many years, I have been greedy for other people's bodies, why didn't I think about strengthening my own body? Uzumaki Mizuki didn't expect Orochimaru to come straight to his door. After hearing the conjecture that Orochimaru said just now, he knew what was going on. It turned out that this guy had lied to himself. Open your mind. Just guessed wrong. Hearing Uzumaki Mizuki's first words, Orochimaru was ready to come up with evidence for guessing. But I was shocked by what Uzumaki Mizuki said in the second sentence. Own body. Orochimaru said tentatively. For example, use your own genes to make a cloned body, and add blood lineages from other families into it, such as first-generation cells, cells from the Uchiha family. You guess what the possibility of such a body will be in the future. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke seductively. Orochimaru is simply unkillable. So Uzumaki Mizuki was going to say something that would interest Orochimaru and make him stay and work for himself. That will be the most powerful blood successor in the world. However, this is a bit too difficult. The secrets of human genes are not so easy to crack. Even though Orochimaru said that, his eyes started to light up. Thinking about how to plan the first step. Okay, I've told you so much, enough. Join my subordinates, work for me, I will tell you more secrets, so that you can reduce the chance of encountering a dead end, how about it? Uzumaki Mizuki invited Orochimaru, 76, hit worker Orochimaru. Are you Minato? But Orochimaru asked suddenly again. Just try it and you'll know. Uzumaki Mizuki took a deep breath. I still don't plan to talk more with this kind of researcher. Catch it, beat it, and then lure it, without waiting for Orochimaru to answer. Dense golden halos appeared directly beside Orochimaru. The lock of sky jumped out by the way, bound towards Orochimaru's body. But the sky lock easily broke Orochimaru's arm. The arm fell to the ground and turned directly into a mud field. It turned out to be just a soil clone. 5 minutes later. I surrender. Orochimaru held up his hands, watching the Uchiha clan pair the father and son who opened Mangekyo. There is also the Mangekyo floating in midair with a halo on his shoulder behind him. There is no escape for Orochimaru. Uzumaki Mizuki tied him directly with Sky Search. Itachi, go up and give him a knife to see if he is real. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly to Uchiha Itachi. Itachi didn't mean anything polite. Pulling out the short blade behind him, he went up and gave Orochimaru a knife, directly piercing the side of his abdomen. Vomit. Orochimaru vomited blood directly. He didn't expect the opponent to strike so hard. Jiraiya, I leave it to you to seal it, and then take him to be healed by Tsunade. That's it for today, disband. After Uzumaki Mizuki finished speaking, he released Shadow Clone directly. Uchiha Itachi looked at Orochimaru, waiting for the Jiraiya seal. Oh, I've said it all, let you go. Jiraiya said so though. But there was a bit of sarcasm in his tone. If you are disobedient, you will suffer. 5 elements seal. Then, with 5 fingers, poke directly on Orochimaru's stomach. Seal his chakra. Then directly summon a toad that is 1 person tall, put him on top, and then take him away. Uchiha Itachi watched the two leave. How about it, is it Minato? Jiraiya, on the toad, asked Orochimaru. Let Orochimaru go and he definitely won't, but it's okay to ask. Advertisement, do not know, however, it is very strange. If it is really an ordinary child, it is impossible to have this kind of strength. There must be something weird, Orochimaru said with certainty. But there is no evidence. If you run away, don't implicate me. Oh, I caught you and got a coupon for a free massage, what a pity. Jiraiya was speechless here. Now, what about Mizuki Uzumaki again? It is powerful, but does not know the details, and at the same time controls the impure world reincarnation of the first generation. How to solve this? The most important thing is that the other party didn't do anything too outrageous. It's good to stay and take a look. By the way, let's find out who this person is. Orochimaru was quite calm. Although the abdomen is still bleeding, it looks like it will die at any time. The next day, Uzumaki Mizuki came to find Orochimaru. Are you okay? Let's get to work. Can squeeze. Uzumaki Mizuki will not give up naturally. Do you already have a research institute? How many research bodies are there? Lying on the hospital bed, Orochimaru asked directly. You'll know when you arrive, Uzumaki Mizuki did not explain. Taking Orochimaru directly, he arrived at the research institute and found Fansuke Tono. You are Lord Orochimaru. Tono Yoshizuki was a little excited. If it wasn't because he remembered that Orochimaru was a traitor, he probably would have gone over to touch it. Tell him about your research plan and then the institute will be in charge of him. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. Orochimaru was also curious about what this research institute does. So patiently listened to Tono Fansuke's explanation. You want me to study these things? It has nothing to do with the human body? After Orochimaru listened, his face was full of surprise. He originally thought that this person was also a lover of human body research. I can handle that kind of thing myself. Answer now. If you can do it, you will do it. If you can't, I will send you to see Sarutobi Hiruzen right now. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Orochimaru indifferently and asked. If it's just about the human body, he doesn't want Orochimaru. Orochimaru took a deep breath, feeling that this person is too arrogant. There is no trace of Minato at all. Advertisement. For doing this, what did you say you would pay me? Orochimaru asked. If there is a little gain, then it is not impossible. Asking for flowers. The truth about blood successor boundary, the ancient history, can facilitate your research on blood successor boundary's human body. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. Just such a little thing, if it is broken, it will be of little value. Well, after these research tasks are completed, will you tell me? Orochimaru nodded, then asked. If this reward is true, then the wolf is qualified. As the person in charge of the research institute for a long time, it is fine not to do things by myself, but to arrange others to do them, but it is fine to finish them. Uzumaki Mizuki thought for a while, then said, make a deal. Orochimaru agreed. Then that's it, you have completed the current task, and I will tell you the truth about the blood succession boundary. After Uzumaki Mizuki finished speaking, he directly cancelled Shadow Clone. You are progressing too slowly now, find a way to add people. After Uzumaki Mizuki left, Orochimaru's side was also not polite. Tono Katasuke tightened his body, quickly obeyed Orochimaru's arrangement, and began to direct. Shao, the 4 major villages, Ju, and the possible Uchiha Madara. There are so many enemies fighting now, and the next few Otsutsuki will not appear in a short time. Let's go beyond cage level as soon as possible. After Uzumaki Mizuki received the memory of Shadow Clone, he got up and stopped the practice of Flying Thunder God. Basically everything to do is done. The rest is to expand and deal with the entire ninja world. Step by step. Strength has the highest priority. Everything else can be slowed down a bit. However, during the weekly meeting, Naraluju raised a question. There are grains and iron ore, but there is a shortage of general commodities, and trade is needed? Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Narasurju's report and read it directly. Yes. Narasurju nodded. This is the only trouble in this country right now. After all, not everything can be self-sufficient. Although you can eat enough and wear warm clothes, you still need it for daily consumption. Then, arrange the team first, from Konoha, go directly to the country of Nami, and occupy the area behind this first. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. The people around, upon hearing this, were somewhat ready to move. Because of interests, 77, it's still a wave of fat. In Konoha village, there are not many benefits to earn. Now mining, farming and so on, the wages for ninjas are not very high. But not dangerous. Some ninjas are still used to fighting. Want to do something else. And these families in Konoha are all interested in expanding. They have a much wider view. Discovery management doesn't seem to be that difficult. As long as they have territory, they can also obtain more benefits. I don't ask too much. After occupying the territory, ordinary people can't grab it unless the other party makes a move. There are no restrictions on nobles, but they can only steal money, and other things are not allowed. To kill nobles, you need to get the approval of more than 70% of the local ordinary people. Uzumaki Mizuki said, death and injury are inevitable. But abide by his rules. Uzumaki Mizuki is not prepared to intervene. If you do this, then, 960 is about to go to war with the Nation of Fire. Narasurju reminded. That's the only thing to watch out for. It seems a bit troublesome to directly kill the Fire Nation daimyo. It will make the Fire Nation chaotic, and a lot of people will die. Uzumaki Mizuki thought for a while, then said. Population is points for him. If there are too many casualties, it feels like a loss. And the Land of Fire is the most populous place. But there are hundreds of millions, at least 1 or 2 million people, and at 10, there are more than 20 million. But the points provided by each citizen are 50 points. Over 1 billion in one wave. The people around fell silent. It is a bit too arrogant to say that you are going to kill the Fire Country daimyo. If we occupy the Nation of Fire, do we have enough manpower to defend the border? Uzumaki Mizuki asked suddenly. Now there are only about 10,000 ninjas. Many of the ninjas who were on the border before took refuge in the Fire Country daimyo, and did not choose to return to Konoha. It may be a bit difficult to send all the people out to guard the border. After confirming with Hyuga Heishi, Narasurju hastened to report. Wrapping up looks somewhat ridiculous, because Uzumaki Mizuki was sitting alone on a golden throne, and the others were standing, slightly bowing their heads in the direction of Uzumaki Mizuki. Only when you speak, you dare to look up. Kill the Fire Country daimyo, and the ninjas in the past should be obedient. Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Itachi, Narashikuhisa, Hyuga Heishi, Akamichi Choza, Yamanaka Haichi, Aburame Joe, you all follow me to the capital of the Land of Fire. Uchiha, 2 families of Hyuga, 30 people, other families 20, Sarutobi, Shimura, 100 people, and 10 medical ninjas. Advertisement, that's all. Get ready in 3 days and go straight away. Uzumaki Mizuki finally decided, I wanted to grow steadily. After thinking about it, it is still faster to develop in a wave of greed. A wave of hundreds of millions of points, the strength directly surpasses Cage level. Basically, unless there is a 6 pads level, otherwise his strength must be invincible. He doesn't have to be afraid of being besieged by other 5 major powers. The people below were shocked. Should we launch a general attack now? Narasurju was shocked. Originally, I just wanted to discuss how to make Uric foreign trade. In fact, Konoha also has many specialty products, which can be sold for a lot of money. Didn't you expect your own king to be so brave? It is enough that the border is stable and enough management talents can be found at the same time. Isn't it easy to kill daimyo of the Fire Country? Hokage 12 soldiers, it's nothing. I asked you to bring people there to recruit the ninjas from Konoha faster and stabilize the situation in the capital. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. Just take Naruto on a trip, and at critical moments, just use illusion to make him sleep. There is nothing else to worry about. 100 million points, you can buy a lot of things. Armed directly to the teeth. What Ryujin Jaka, Tensa Zanjetsu, or the Sword of Victory and Oath? Anti-beating can be exchanged for fanatic armor, distant utopia and other defensive equipment. The more Wang Jibao Curry accumulates, the stronger he becomes. Uzumaki Mizuki's words moved Ino Shikacho and others very much. If successful, the position they manage will directly become the entire Fire Nation. But it's also a big risk. Go get ready. When you're not around, find a suitable deputy to take over. But instead of waiting for their answer, Uzumaki Mizuki ordered. Yes. Everyone was shocked, hastily agreed. This matter was regarded as a secret by them, and they began to prepare. And Uzumaki Mizuki said directly to Naruto, would you like to visit the capital of the Land of Fire? Advertisement, I'm planning to go there for a few days. Uzumaki Mizuki said in a tone that seemed to invite a spring outing. Really, I want to go, but the school. Naruto's eyes lit up. He hasn't left Konoha since he was born. Leave it to me, you just prepare what you want to bring. Uzumaki Mizuki said. No problem, Naruto happily went to prepare. After taking over the Nation of Fire, a war should break out within half a year. Other countries should not sit back and watch a ninja-born person like me possess such great power. Class is still a very important part, used to maintain the interests of the ruler. Uzumaki Mizuki is already thinking about how to prepare next. The most important thing is not to die too many people, after all, they're all points. However, managing the country is still very troublesome, and you need to find an agent. Uzumaki Mizuki thought this way. Fighting and grabbing territory is simple, but managing it is very complicated. Oh, it's all trouble. As a king, you still have the obligation to bear the responsibility. Uzumaki Mizuki said seriously. To collect benefits from the people, then as a king, you have to shoulder the responsibility. If you come out to mess around, what you pay attention to is morality. Is the manpower ready? 3.2 At the same time, the land of fire Daiming mansion. A group of ninjas knelt down in front of the daimyo. They are all his elites. Yes, the white-haired Kazuma replied very respectfully. I should have listened to you back then. Sarutobi Hiruzen is such an old thing, so unreliable. This time I leave it to you. Get rid of the king of Uruk, a small country, and take back Konoha's ruling power. I will hand it over to you in the future. By candlelight, the fire country daimyo held a fan in his hand and said very coldly. What happened this time left the kingdom of extinction in a state of desperation. He is very angry. This needs those people to pay with their lives. Must complete the task, and put a cruel smile on Ma's face. 78. Every enemy is a point. The information that I thought was going to be concealed, but when I left, it was above board. Because a group of people left directly from the gate of Konoha. There is no cover-up at all. Uzumaki Mizuki found Orochimaru, asked for the summoning scroll from Ryuchi Cave, and signed his name. For this matter, Orochimaru didn't have too much resistance. I didn't find Jiraiya, because the toad is reserved for Naruto, so don't use the same one yourself. Summoning technique. Uzumaki Mizuki is directly at the gate, using summoning directly. Naturally, Naruto couldn't keep up with everyone's speed. It is a little inconvenient to carry Naruto with the Skylock. So the purpose of taking the scroll is to find a mount that can move with Naruto stably. Orochimaru, summon me, have you prepared the sacrifice? What comes out of summoning is wants. Purple skin, plus 2 pairs of horns, one big and one small. Looks a bit like a cobra's neck. It is one of the 3 summoning beasts alongside Gamabunta and Katsuyu. Illusion Sharingan. 25 Saw this thing. Uzumaki and Mizuki are not interested in communicating. Use Shisui's Mangekyo directly to control Mangekyo. In the pain of Wand Snake, the appearance of Sharingan appeared in an instant. Orochimaru was also on the side, watching this scene with some envy. In the past, he asked Wand Snake to work, but it always took a long time to prepare afterwards. Although there is this value, but doing this to animals still makes him very dissatisfied. Now seeing the summoning beast that I treat with care, being controlled by people like this, I feel like I have been greened. So big! Naruto exclaimed. When you graduate from ninja school, I'll find you another summoning beast, no smaller than this one. Uzumaki Mizuki said to Naruto. Then he directly lifted Naruto and jumped onto Wand Snake's head. There were about 200 people around, all looking up at this scene. Set off, advertisement Uzumaki Mizuki declared directly. Then through Sharingan, control the 10,000 snakes to move forward. Uchiha Fugaku and others are also ready at this time and are mentally prepared to make a big deal. Unexpectedly, they are only one step away from the status they imagined in the past. From a toolman ninja, directly to the status of the ruling class. Everyone on the field, whether they are convinced by Uzumaki Mizuki or not, hope that this battle can be won. A group of people left without explanation. Anyway, Konoha has nothing to guard against now, and there are enough people left to take care of the family. At the same time, Uzumaki Mizuki left the summoning spell on first generation, and summoning can come over at any time, and let him look at Konoha to basically solve most of the problems. Naruto was very excited when he just came out of Konoha. But after looking at it for a while, I found that it was all forest and land, so I didn't feel anything and went straight to sleep. When Wand Snake moved, his head was still very stable, and he would not be awakened even if he fell asleep. Before I left, I took from Konoha's treasure, Curry, a wealth that increased my magic power by about 20,000. Now that there are more than 60,000 mana points, fully unleashing the power of the Deviation Sword EA should be enough to destroy the entire Konoha at once. Uzumaki Mizuki calculates his fighting strength, unless it happened directly in the past that Pain and Obito teamed up, or the other 4 shadows from Ninja Village teamed up together. Otherwise, it's a win. This battle is as simple as finding something out of a bag. Uzumaki Mizuki has already started to think about what he should do after getting the points. It was a quiet day on the road. Things are basically handled by Uchiha Fugaku themselves, and Uzumaki Mizuki basically doesn't care. Just take Naruto to several rivers to catch fish, and then grill the fish directly. The surrounding ninjas spread out directly to monitor the situation. Seeing the way Uzumaki Mizuki and Naruto eat fish, the people around can't feel that this is the decisive master. 2 days later. You mean, the country of fire also sent people out, and they are rushing towards Konoha? Uzumaki Mizuki asked with a strange face. The people of the Hyuga clan discovered the information through the lips of their mouths when they were resting. It should not be false news. The leader is a ninja named Wama, one of the 12 daimyo guardian ninjas from the Land of Fire. In the past, he had a lot of resentment towards Konoha. He thought that the ninja should be completely controlled by the daimyo. Konoha should be responsible for it herself. Uchiha Fugaku spoke. Several big family members around also gathered together. Advertisement. This guy has a lot of ideas. There is nothing wrong with what you said. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded approvingly. Fugaku and the others froze. What does it mean? The Fire Country daimyo doesn't have this ability, so I will be the king of this country, that's fine. Let's see if Kong is smart, stay and work for me when the time comes. Uzumaki Mizuki continued. Hearing this, everyone smiled. This king, they themselves can't figure out the other party's intentions. In case of a sudden convulsion, it will make them feel uncomfortable. Then tonight, let's surround them, do it in advance, and subdue them? Uchiha Fugaku asked tentatively. After all, he is in charge of fighting externally. 190 It's just that it's more difficult to catch alive than to kill. No, I'll go by myself. At 2 o'clock in the evening. Uzumaki Mizuki shook his head, then spoke directly. He also knew the trouble of catching alive. But if these people were defeated, I would get some points, and if they took refuge in me, it would be counted as points. Basically no one can brush in Konoha. Recently, he brought Sanin into his own dominion and gained 200,000 points. Defeating Obito gives 150,000 points. A total of 35 points were obtained, and there were basically no other gains. Because Konoha is his own person. Now the points are 245, which is still 50,000 short of 250. Yes. With orders, Uchiha Fugaku naturally has no other opinions. At 2 o'clock in the evening, Naruto fell into a deep sleep. Uzumaki Mizuki covered a Sharingan sleep illusion again, put it on with a skylock, and then beckoned Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi to leave together. Nara Shirju and the others looked around without looking sideways, and didn't dare to look at Uzumaki Mizuki. They can also see that Uzumaki Mizuki cares about his younger brother very much. It's not that I don't have ideas, but I dare not move. 79. Fortunately, we are our own people. You mean, the enemy bandits from Konoha left the village with the patriarchs of the big families in Konoha and some elites. The direction is the capital of the country of fire? Kazuma frowned, looking at the spies sent to Konoha. It is very simple to pass on Konoha's news now, basically there is no limit. As long as you are not messing around, making trouble, basically no one cares about you. The only place that is not allowed to approach is the Hokage Rock, and the places of the major families. Strangers are not allowed to approach. In other places, it is basically above board. There were a few brave ones who directly reported the name of the Fire Nation, but no one cared about them. Yes, no one knows the specific news, and there is a lot of discussion in Konoha village. The spy quickly replied, he couldn't figure it out either. But the combat effectiveness of the group of people who left the village is definitely the best in Konoha. So he followed them without hesitation and left. They fled desperately along the way, but found that no one was chasing them at all. As for Uzumaki Mizuki and the others, because they had to take Naruto to rest and wait, they made this deep and came here first. There are only two possibilities. One is to fight for a name, let the Fire Country daimyo recognize this country, or be willing to continue to serve the Fire Country like Konoha before. The other one, the intention is the same as ours. It wants to attack the daimyo, it's wishful thinking. Hima's side is sure, and the people on Konoha's side must have second thoughts. If it is the first type, then you must contact the Fire Country daimyo in advance. It is impossible to come here without saying a word. Forcing the palace? Snapped. Boom. He just stood up and said these words. Then I found that the people I brought around started to fall to the ground inexplicably one by one, and stopped moving. They are from the tree, the ground, and the top of the tree. The distance between them is very far, it doesn't look like poisoning at all. This made his pupils shrink sharply, and he jumped up directly, wanting to leave this place. But he saw that the surrounding ninjas were still falling down one by one. The people who brought it also noticed this scene, and they all started to panic and immediately looked around. Over there, and the horse found the golden light. Without hesitation, he threw a kunai over there, but it was directly knocked into the air by a golden chain. Advertisement, Shisui's Sharingan is really easy to use. Sarutobi Hiruzen still doesn't have the capacity to accommodate people. Otherwise, training Shisui to be the next generation of Hokage will definitely bring Konoha to the peak again. Uzumaki Mizuki came out of the forest very calmly. Standing beside him are Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi, who are ready to fight. Because Hima brought a lot of manpower, there are more than 200 numbers in total. Even if they are all genin, killing them all is not a matter of time. Seeing the enemy, the ninjas around were relieved. In that kind of darkness, when you watch your companions fall one after another, but you don't know what's going on. That's when it's the scariest. People from Konoha? Uchiha Fugaku, and Hyuga Heishi. The one in the middle is what you call the king of kids. It just so happens that our mission this time is to kill you, so let's die here. No wind, no motion, no destiny. Do it, Hima directly ordered his 3 disciples. This is his most important subordinate. The strength of the three of them has already reached the level of Jonin, and they belong to the best in the Kingdom of Fire. King, let me deal with them, Uchiha Fugaku recommended himself. He also somewhat wanted to show his own strength and let Uzumaki Mizuki rely on himself. After all, Uchiha's glory rests on him. Me too, King. On Hyuga Hiyoshi's side, he also pushed forward and said unceremoniously. Earth-style tooling dumplings. But the ninjas on the Nation of Fire side are not interested in listening to their conversations. Without moving, he directly used his best earth style, inserted his hands into the ground, and when he lifted it up again, he had already lifted a huge earth ball with a diameter of more than 3 meters. Throw it directly towards the three of Uzumaki and Mizuki, preparing to break up their formation. Then come apart and besiege them. No, I'll do it myself, you just need to prevent anyone from running away. Uzumaki Mizuki said, although there is a mummy like Naruto tied behind him. But it doesn't affect his combat effectiveness too much. After finishing speaking, a skylock rushed out directly, and a Rasengan was placed on the front, directly blasting the soil ball. Go together, advertisement Heima ordered from behind. At the same time, he himself is making seals. Numerous ninjas did not keep it either. Ninjutsu and ninja tools were directly released in large quantities. From C level to B level ninjutsu, the secrets are coming. At this level, Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi are a little bit tingling. Thinking about whether my Susanoo and Revolving Heaven can block so many ninjutsu and ninja tools. Miscellaneous cultivators, look straight at me. But Uzumaki Mizuki just opened his mouth while reaching out and wiping his hair back. At the same time, densely packed tunnels of the king's treasure house appeared behind him. Overwhelming, it is not inferior to the ninjutsu and seriousness released by many ninjas on the field. Nearly 1,000 locks of the sky rushed out directly from the king's treasure house. Covered almost all positions in front of Uzumaki Mizuki. Those ninja tools and ninjutsu were all shattered in an instant, and none of them could get close to 3 meters in front of Uzumaki Mizuki. So many sky locks hit the ground directly, causing huge vibrations. That's what the king is doing. Aburame Joe, who is wearing sunglasses, can see the golden light slightly emerging in the sky. Naraluju and others felt the pressure, irresistible pressure. But at the same time, I am glad that Uzumaki Mizuki did not choose to kill them all, but brought them into his banner. Impossible. Hima looked in front of him, and the manpower he brought was almost lost. The broken limbs of the body and the blown head were scattered all over the ground. I was a little angry all of a sudden, I killed a little too many people. Good Wang Zhao, I was planning to let them work part-time. Uzumaki Mizuki said calmly. The one blow just now consumed more than 5,000 points of mana, which can reach the lowest level of the deviation sword, and the power is naturally huge. Because each skylock has been injected with more magic power, otherwise, it may not be able to block so many attacks. But now, with more magic power, be self-willed, Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi looked at Uzumaki Mizuki's unchanging face, and felt the pressure in their hearts. How ruthless you are to your enemies, and Uzumaki Mizuki just counted how many points he earned just now. The final result was about 35,000 points. Only more than 170 people died, less than 200. It's a bit dangerous, it's very close to 2.5 million points. Uzumaki Mizuki is still worried about this at this time. 80. Want to carve up the big landowner of the Land of Fire. Earth-style ultimate creation soil of the dead. And the horse here is no longer waiting. Without hesitation, he used his own forbidden technique. Just now, when his subordinates attacked Uzumaki Mizuki, he released the soil prepared to be stained with the breath of death through the sealing scroll in advance. Uzumaki Mizuki was stunned when he heard the name of this technique, and then watched the other party perform without doing anything. And the remaining ninjas on the Fire Nation side were completely scared out of their wits and did not dare to do anything at this time. But he didn't dare to escape, so he could only escape to Kazuma, watching Uzumaki Mizuki and others very nervously. Puff. In the soil, someone drilled out of the soil. In the end there were 4 of them. But Heima didn't stop here, and continued to use this technique, throwing himself out of the dead body next to the soil contaminated with the breath of death, and resurrecting him again. All of a sudden, more than 30 people appeared. Zombies? Something similar to impure world reincarnation. Uzumaki Mizuki was slightly surprised, but he seems to remember this scene. Is it the same state as Shodai? If it can't be killed, it will be troublesome. Does 663 need to kill the operator? Hyuga Heishi and Uchiha Fugaku said separately. They are afraid that these people are like the first generation. If they cannot be killed, then it will be a headache. Try it and you'll know. Uzumaki Mizuki is very calm. Kill them, Baigen, Shingdo, Shengma, Freezing Rain. And Ma Nu shouted. These few people were opponents who had previously clashed with his ideas. Also a member of the Guardian Ninja 12, together, the 4 of them are able to unleash a powerful lightning style, the Thunderman. You can mobilize the power of the weather to kill the enemy. This time, the main combat power to eliminate Konoha is to rely on the 4 of them. Others are all cannon fodder, used to attract attention. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, he just moved forward slightly. 4 sky locks with a thickness of 1 meter rushed out of the king's treasure house like giant snakes. The 4 dead bodies don't move that fast, and they only control the 4 skylocks, and Uzumaki Mizuki can also perform micromanagement. Advertisement was directly smashed into pieces. There was a few seconds of silence. Uzumaki Mizuki found that these corpse fragments, not gathered together, then recondensed. Instead, it turned into mud and fell to the ground without moving. That's it, Uzumaki Mizuki said in surprise. You, who the hell are you? And the horse was shocked. This is gone. Looking at the surrounding subordinates, it was less than 1/5. Then he looked at the child king he thought he was, and asked with a very stiff face. Such a person, that is, how could there be no layers in the past? He couldn't believe it, it was just a child. Someone will tell you later. Clatter. Seeing this scene, Uzumaki Mizuki lost interest. This person doesn't feel good either. Directly use Shisui's Sharingan to use the illusion, directly making him freeze, stopping in place and not moving. Master. Those uncharacteristic generations are still alive. After all, strong strength and luck are indispensable. However, there is almost no room for resistance. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't kill them this time, and tied them directly with the skylock. Call someone over here to fix it. The leader. See if you can ask something, if there is any other value, if you are willing to take refuge in a small position. The same is true for the others, if you are willing to live and work for me, if you have no faults, you can get down. Uzumaki Mizuki to Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku took a deep breath and replied. It felt like it was getting easier and easier for Wong to deal with these enemies. When he was dealing with Sarutobi Hiruzen's CFAG, he felt that Uzumaki Mizuki was somewhat tired. But now, basically there is no pressure. Soon people came over and started processing. Advertisement. The one named Kazuma did not choose to surrender in the end, and was killed directly after being read by Itachi with Mangekyo. The rest of the ninjas surrendered quickly, and many of them were former Konoha ninjas. Hima's apprentices were also killed. They were deeply brainwashed by Kazuma, and they completely respected the name of the Land of Fire. Naturally, it was impossible to surrender to the traitor Uzumaki Mizuki. Brainwashing education seems to be necessary, but like Sarutobi Hiruzen, boasting that he is the strongest Hokage is a bit too much. However, before long, I should be the strongest. After Uzumaki Mizuki learned the information, he signaled Uchiha Fugaku to solve it by themselves. The Fire Country Daimyo is really under a lot of pressure. To deal with Daimyo of the Nation of Fire, he doesn't have much to extinguish. Mainly things to do after taking over the Nation of Fire. It seems that we need to show our own strength and deter the surrounding countries. Which one to choose? Iwagakure, or Cloud Shinobi Village. These two are the most arrogant. Tsunade is Konoha's younger brother before, but he has rebellion. But defeating Tsunade is not so oppressive. Uzumaki Mizuki was already thinking about what's next. That's the trouble. Dealing with the Nation of Fire is not easy. Fugaku and the others were busy all night, and they took care of the rest. Everyone knew the general situation and knew that the daimyo of the Fire Nation would definitely not be able to resist them. This news made them a little excited. Just one step away, after the settlement, they are the most powerful people in the entire Fire Kingdom except Uzumaki Mizuki. And at the same time, the 4 surrounding villages also basically knew the news. Their ability to transmit information is naturally very strong. Basically, within the territory of the Fire Kingdom, they can transmit it back within 3 days. But when they knew, Uzumaki Mizuki had already taken people with him, and he was less than 2 days away from the Land of Fire. Is there a war between the two sides? Looks like it's time to do it. Wait for any winning side to slow down, it will be very troublesome to deal with. Tsunade wants to help this Uruk, or the Land of Fire. It depends on the opinion of the daimyo. Except for Mizukage, the true water, the other 3 shadows were all moved. However, to provoke such a war, the daimyo's permission is still required. They all contacted their big benefactor one after another to see if they want to intervene to carve up the big landlord of the Fire Nation. 81. See your brother's true strength, what did you say? The people of Konoha are approaching me. The daimyo of the country of fire, after hearing the news, was extremely frightened and angry. He didn't expect that the other party would actually dare to be so bold. And he won't feel that the other party is coming to surrender to him. Then there is only one possibility, like the people I sent, do they want to come over and get rid of themselves? My lord, yes. According to their speed, after 1 day at the slowest, they should reach the outside of the city wall. The spy quickly replied. Uzumaki Mizuki and others did not hide their figure at all. And there is no way for one snake to hide. Uzumaki Mizuki's current chakra has been maintaining it for summoning, and it doesn't take much effort at all. So naturally, I didn't change to a new one, and went on a rampage all the way. It can be said that I opened up a road from Konoha to the capital of the country of fire. Just a little crooked. Call all the ninjas and kill them. Don't let them get close to this city, understand? On the side of the Fire Nation daimyo, he said angrily. Immediately, a few ninjas hidden in the dark appeared, knelt down on the ground, and replied very respectfully, yes. There will be more manpower mobilized this time. There are more than 500 numbers. However, this is also the only means of protection for the daimyo of the Land of Fire. After all, the border now needs to be guarded, and almost half of his manpower has been dispatched. There are not many main combat forces to protect him. These people are the last line of defense of the capital, and there are also a large number of militias, but the combat effectiveness of these people is average. Mainly rely on bow and arrow to kill the enemy. You can see some city walls here. This city is quite big. Uzumaki Mizuki stood on top of his head like a 10,000 snake, looking towards the capital of the country of fire. It looks much bigger than Konoha. This kind of place is suitable for the position of the capital of the country, and Konoha is still a bit short. My lord, the ninjas from the land of fire will come face to face with us in about 15 minutes. For Hyuga Heishi, standing on top of 10,000 snakes, he lowered his head slightly and reported to Uzumaki Mizuki. Although I feel that I will rush over like this, it will be a little bit. However, they are strong enough, and in terms of detecting intelligence, they are no worse than the land of fire. More than a dozen people from the Hyuga clan almost scanned the surrounding area with a diameter of 50 kilometers. Advertisement basically, there are few gaps that people can sneak in. It seems that he is not an idiot, and he has no such daydreaming idea that we have come to seek refuge. Stop here, wait for them to come, and I will deal with them myself. Uzumaki Mizuki does not pass up any chance of scoring points. The last time he killed Hima and his group, the points were stuck at 2.48 million points, which was close to 2.49 million points. In this wave, there are hundreds of people, not just 10,000 points. Yes. After Hyuga Heishi watched Uzumaki Mizuki's raging power head on, he no longer dared to have any opinions. Under absolute strength, everything is a paper tiger. Hyuga Heishi conveyed the news to Uchiha Fugaku, and Fugaku began to arrange the formation. All the members retreated to the rear of One Snake. Except for a few people from the Hyuga and Uchiha clan who are responsible for paying attention to the situation in front, everyone else is retreating. After about 2 hours, the battlefield was cleared. Only 2 or 3 are not bad, reaching the level of Konoha Jonin. However, it is also the degree of being killed in seconds. All were defeated by Uzumaki Mizuki alone, and the densely packed passages of the king's treasure house covered the entire area. The lock of the sky bound these ninjas, and these people from Konoha are responsible for persuading them to surrender. Those who are willing to surrender and have no major problems will accept it directly. If you don't want to, just kill it. Naruto took a nap, and in the morning on the back of 10,000 snakes, training with chakra absorption, spent a lot of energy. When he woke up, the matter had been settled. Big brother, are you going to bring the land of fire? After Naruto woke up, he was a little excited, because he can also see the city wall in the distance. Well, we should live here in the future, what do you think? Uzumaki Mizuki nodded, then asked rhetorically. Oh, then Choji Shikamaru and others, won't we be able to see them in the future? I don't want to leave Konoha. Naruto quickly shook his head and said. It's rare to make a few friends at school, and he doesn't want to leave. They will all come later. By the way, you haven't seen it yet, you big brother, my real power. Asking for flowers. Advertisement this time, let me show you what is truly powerful. Uzumaki Mizuki said to Naruto. After all, Naruto can't be kept secret. There is always something to show. Before Konoha's side, they did it to acquaintances, fearing that Naruto would have some thoughts in his heart. After all, it is still young, but now, there is not so much to care about. There is nothing else to do except to worry a little bit about the psychological problems. And he also tries to kill as little as possible because there are points. Real strength? I want to see, Naruto nodded. A recent change, Uzumaki Mizuki though, and he probably talked about it. But he always feels that all this is not because they are the children of 4th Hokage, but because of his big brother, so the people around him are very polite to him. So my big brother must have a secret, is this time the moment of revelation? The news of the failure of the manpower he sent was quickly passed back. After hearing the news, the daimyo of the Fire Nation seemed somewhat terrified. Because, he is also afraid of death, how many people can be transferred now? The Fire Nation daimyo asked. Master Daiming, there are about 100 other people who are the last guards of the Daiming mansion. Ordinary militiamen can mobilize 15,000 people. 5 militiamen can deal with an ordinary genin, which can be regarded as a force of 3,000 genin. The personal guard ninja of the Fire Country daimyo replied. This is the last guard force of the Fire Country daimyo. The Guardian Ninja 12 can only be regarded as the next level of daimyo's defense force. As a daimyo, one must have a power that completely respects one's own will to act. All attack. Send all the combat power, this battle must not be lost. Although the Fire Country daimyo looks thin and small. But at this moment, he also knew that he had no way out. The manpower at the border was too late to be mobilized back, and they could not be mobilized back. Then you can only rely on the strength in your hands to find a way to get rid of the opponent. 82. If you don't surrender, you will be pierced. This battle has attracted the attention of many people. Although I may not be able to come in person, the spies around me recorded everything very seriously. Uzumaki Mizuki and the others stopped directly at a location about 300 meters away from the capital city wall of the Kingdom of Fire. The city wall was covered with dense crowds of people. They were all militiamen, with bows and arrows in their hands, and if they were not out of range, they would have fired in volley. Fugaku, Itachi, Heishi, and Inoshikacho, you 3, go and capture the Fire Nation daimyo, it's not a problem. Uzumaki Mizuki asked. although it is faster for him to go in person. But this time, I want to show my strength to Naruto. At the same time, I feel that I won't give too many points for catching the Fire Country Daimyo. Avatars are divided according to strength, not status. September 63 inches, so he didn't go there himself, no problem. Uchiha Fugaku replied immediately. Hyuga Heishi and Ino Shikacho 4 also responded quickly. They believed that this was a certificate of nomination requested by Uzumaki Mizuki. Take something practical to prove your determination. After all, if you attack the daimyo of the Land of Fire, there is no room for turning back. The mountains over there are not inhabited. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded, and then greeted Uchiha Izumi, who was on the side. I don't know that Huo Schwanma didn't bring it out. Now the person in charge of helping is Uchiha Izumi, Uchiha Itachi's girlfriend? Anyway, Naruto likes this young lady very much, so Uzumaki Mizuki also arranged for her to be a valet, responsible for delivering messages and answering questions. Yes, King. There are villages in the gentle areas, but there are no people living in the mountains. Uchiha Izumi replied. I smashed that hill, so you can take the opportunity to go in and do it. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Naturally, Fugaku and others did not have any opinions, and everything was arranged by Uzumaki Mizuki. The people on the city wall looked nervously at the three people below. That giant purple snake is very eye-catching. Advertisement. There are many ninjas who are ready to move at this time. Because they all want to make great achievements, if they kill each other, they will definitely be appreciated by the Fire Country Daimyo. But the fear of death still made them stop. Naruto, look, your big brother's strength is very strong. Uzumaki Mizuki greeted Naruto, who was a little scared at this time. When he saw the people on the city wall, their faces were very fierce, but there were also many people who were afraid. Big brother, here we are, what are we doing? Naruto asked with some doubts. Didn't it come to play? How does it feel? It seems a bit strange. From now on, this place will be our home, and the entire Fire Kingdom will be ours. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't explain much either. While speaking, he took out the key of the king's treasure house, lifted it up, and turned it into the appearance of the Deviation Sword EA. Oh cool, what is this? Naruto was immediately attracted by the deviant sword in Uzumaki Mizuki's hand. This is my weapon. The name is Deviation Sword EA. After Uzumaki Mizuki answered, he directly raised the deviant sword to the sky. The hurried voice sounded again. Fugaku and the others looked at the weapon in awe. Naraluju and the others also couldn't take their eyes off them. Could it be this weapon is the secret of this man's strength? What is that kid doing? Why did you bring the child to the battlefield? Why don't you try it, shoot this child with a bow and arrow, and scare these people in Konoha? That child, is it Konoha's so-called king of children? On the city wall, many people saw Uzumaki Mizuki in action. Everyone has a different idea, but those who look down are all militiamen. On the ninja side, many people felt the pressure. The legend about Konoha Kid King is actually very widely spread. But many people didn't take it seriously, thinking it was fake news. Advertisement, but now, everyone could see clearly that the respectful attitude of the two children standing on top of the giant snake and the ninjas around them did not look like a fake at all. Tear the world apart, and leave the PG star. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, softly singing the liberation language. Then he swung the sword directly towards the uninhabited mountain. A burst of dark red energy burst out in an instant, rushing out directly from the tip of the deviation sword. The people on the field were all attracted by this ray of light, and the field fell silent for a while. After about 2 seconds, a huge mushroom cloud rose, accompanied by a red light. For a moment, the blue sky was almost dyed red, then the sound of the explosion came slowly, accompanied by a huge impact. This mountain peak is about 3 kilometers away from the city wall. The people on the city wall can still be seen clearly. The huge impact caused many people on the city wall to be unable to lift their heads. Those who were unlucky were directly lifted and fell to the bottom of the city wall. Wait until the impact stops. The people on the city wall were all terrified. Even those who did not see clearly what happened in Rear Admiral immediately set their sights on the child holding the weapon. This is your strength. Big brother, Naruto was also trembling with fright. This level is the first time I have seen it. It made him feel absolutely powerless. Probably less than half. If you use it with all your strength, you should be able to directly destroy about 1/3 of this city. Uzumaki Mizuki patted Naruto's head and said soothingly. Uchiha Fugaku and others have actually seen it once, but when they see it again, they still feel a little lost. But when the impact came, they were awakened by 2.9, and then quickly sneaked into the capital of the country of fire. Aburame Joe, you arrange someone to persuade you to surrender. Tell them to open the city gate and surrender before it gets dark. Otherwise, I will launch the attack from the city gate just now and penetrate the city directly. Uzumaki Mizuki greeted Aburame Joe directly without waiting for Naruto to answer. The Aburame family is very low-key. It is also incorporated into the agricultural department and is mainly responsible for helping to apply pollen. By the way, help with mining. Yes, King. Aburmeji bowed slightly, then went over to greet the staff indifferently, prepared to use the loudspeaker, and began to surrender to the people on the city wall. 83. Take over the Nation of Fire. Many people on the city wall were terrified. After hearing the words of surrender, there was no desire to resist. Although many people are loyal to the Fire Country Daimyo. But seeing the attack just now, everyone was wondering whether his body could last a second under this attack. 20,000 points of magic power, the power is not bad. 1. For Uzumaki Mizuki, check the consumption. In a few minutes, it can be restored to full. Now the mental power attribute is high, and the recovery speed is extremely fast. As long as the protracted battle does not consume the magic power in an instant, it will be able to recover soon after dragging on. At this time, it is slightly Obito's meaning to use hollow. When not in use, it can increase the cooling time. As this war, Naruto was a little confused at this moment. At this time, he was alone, and he didn't know what he was doing this time. Yes. Because they are going to deal with us, we will deal with them in advance. If you lose, you will lose everything, including friends, family, you and me, so you can't lose. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke a little to the extent that Naruto could understand. We can't stop the war, should we talk about it? Naruto wondered. He feels that many people will die in the war. This is not too good. Have you seen little Sakura and Ino, will they have a good talk with you? Some people can't make sense, so they have to rely on their strength to speak. I am strong, so you have to listen to me. Uzumaki Mizuki instilled in Naruto the idea that fists are the last word. Small Sakura and Ino are also shown as illustrations. Naruto has suffered a lot at the hands of these two. This seems to be the same. Originally, Naruto was a bit arrogant. But thinking of the unreasonable appearance of little Sakura, I feel that I am a big brother. The effect of persuading surrender seems to have no effect. The city gate has not been opened yet, although people on both sides know that it doesn't seem to matter whether the city gate is opened or not. But those people on the city wall basically lost their will to fight. Because of fear of death, can't see any odds, so why beat it? There are not so many people who are really willing to die for the name of the Land of Fire. Many have to think about their wives, children, and families. Advertisement all want to live. King, there is still no movement. Need to take the initiative to attack? My parasites have already sneaked into the city wall, ready to explode at any time, leading people to rush in, and carry out more favorable oppression. Aburame Jawei came to the top of Wanshe again about an hour after the surrender, and replied to Uzumaki Mizuki. Wait for Fugaku their situation, and the surrender continues. Clarify how we treat them. Those who come directly to surrender now will not be purged at that time, targeting the nobles. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Be smart, then forget it. Not smart, you are so rich, if you don't rob you, who will you rob? In the early stage of starting a business, who didn't almost have money? The way he governs is different from the current nation of fire. These nobles who used to maintain stability in the past are of no value to him. Yes. Aburame Jawei understood what Uzumaki Mizuki meant. Then arrange immediately. Boom boom boom. Inside the city, there were a lot of explosions. The movement is not small. After about a few minutes, I saw a purple-red Susanoo crashing directly through the city wall. He rushed out with a group of people. At the same time, dozens of ninjas rushed over. But did not wait for them to approach. The densely packed skylocks directly forced them back. Those who didn't have time to react were directly caught by the skylock. Fortunately, my life is not disgraceful, King. This is the name of the Land of Fire. Uchiha Fugaku has both eyes. Kakuzu has tears of blood. Ino Shikacho also suffered from many injuries. Only Hyuga Heishi is slightly better. On Uchiha Itachi's side, there are also blood and tears in the corners of the eyes. Have someone announce the news that the Fire Nation's daimyo has been captured, let them surrender. If you don't agree, let them taste the attack just now. Uzumaki Mizuki greeted Aburame Jawei again. Certain casualties are still acceptable. If you can manage this country better and make some people honest, then try it. He wasn't in the mood to influence them one by one. Knowing that you are on the right path, there is no need to waste this time. Yes. Advertisement. Aburame Jawei is still very calm. And those people on the city wall finally panicked. Their boss is gone. What is the purpose of continuing to work hard? A large number of bows and arrows were stopped and thrown from the city. There seems to be internal strife in the city. Those who give up resistance, just get down on the ground. While standing still, kill them immediately. Uzumaki Mizuki directly amplifies the sound through magic. In an instant, a large group of people fell on the city wall. Those who are still standing, Uzumaki Mizuki is not polite here, directly use the lock of the sky to take it down. The force of resistance soon lost its voice. Then Konoha's people went to open the door. Uzumaki Mizuki undid 10,000 snakes summoning, took Naruto, who was a little timid, and walked in directly. At this time, a large group of people fell to their knees and prostrated themselves on both sides of the street. Arrange manpower, take over the city defense in the city, stabilize the situation, and don't allow chaos. Uzumaki Mizuki ordered. The people around immediately started to disperse. In the end, there were less than 20 people left and 880 to stay with Uzumaki Mizuki. Seeing so few people, many hidden enemies wanted to move. When we get to Daiming Mansion, hundreds of people have died. Naruto was knocked out by Uzumaki Mizuki in the middle. Two bloody scenes, still not suitable for children to watch. The riots in the city lasted until dawn the next morning. The situation is indeed not optimistic. Those guys who ran away should be spies, and they went back to deliver the news. As long as the four major villages don't join forces to attack, it won't be a big problem. Uzumaki Mizuki is not idle either. His mental strength is so strong that he doesn't need to sleep so long every day. There is a lot of information here in the Daiming Mansion. All of the above shows that the Kingdom of Fire is somewhat dangerous. The main part of the defense line is in the country of rain and the country of grass, as well as the country of field and the country of iron. The side near the Kingdom of Wind has the least defense. And the country of water is almost defenseless, because the fire country daimyo already thought that the area should be handed over to Konoha for defense. This is because Konoha's side is closer to the coastline. If the Kingdom of Water invades, it will be Konoha's side instead of the Kingdom of Fire. 84. Four countries send troops to fight against the Uric Empire. The matter of changing the name and surname of the Land of Fire instantly detonated the entire ninja world. Many countries don't believe that the Fire Nation, which ranks first in overall strength, has actually gone like this. The Land of Earth and the Land of Thunder are directly preparing for battle. The same goes for the Kingdom of the Winds. It's not that these big names have much hatred for Uzumaki Mizuki, nor do they want to gain much benefit. Because they feel threatened, since Konoha has the ability, change the name of Fire Country? So what about the ninja village in their country? Does it also have the same power, can knock down their big names at any time, and sit in this position by themselves? This is the most intolerable thing for these big names. Then, let's go to war. Consume Ninja Village's power. At the same time, it is possible to kill the Ninja Rebellion and the enemy who reached the top of the daimyo. Of course everyone is happy. At the same time, the power of Ninja Village was consumed. By the way, they can also take the opportunity and find a way to pinch the neck of Genin Village. This kind of thing can't happen again. A ninja is a ninja, absolutely cannot change class and become a daimyo. This is absolutely not allowed. Touch the interests of all ruling classes at this time. So the big names of these three countries are very tacit, and they are all ready to go to war. Including the country of water, under strong pressure, he had to force Kirigakure and was forced to send troops to fight. I didn't expect that brat to have such courage. However, there is no room for others to tolerate his continued existence. Said in a hoarse voice. Kirigakure has no problem here, we must dispatch all the staff to deal with the Uric Empire. Obito said very coldly. He narrowly escaped death and survived. The recovery ability brought by the first-generation cells is so powerful that he kept his life and survived the treatment of White Zetsu. It's just that his hands are replaced by White Zetsu's arms. Let Tan feel a little uncomfortable. During this period of time, he kept a close eye on Obito. Both sides are acting in tacit understanding, and no one knows the other's plan. Advertisement absolutely. In the absence of suitable candidates, they are naturally unwilling to get rid of Obito. Obito also doesn't want to leave like this before the fact that he doesn't know the truth and wants to revive Lin in Infinite Tsukuyomi is completed. In the previous ninja wars, at most 2 of the 5 villages attacked Konoha together. But this time, the 4 major villages were dispatched together, and Konoha also lost a lot of manpower. It is not an easy task to survive. There is some bloating here. For this person who messed up his planned deployment, he was naturally very smoky. Not to mention, the future is likely to be the biggest stumbling block. Nine Tails Jinchuriki is his younger brother. If you want to catch Nine Tails, you have to pass his level. Taking advantage of these ninja villages going to attack Konoha, let Akatsuki dispatch to capture Jinchuriki, don't miss this opportunity. Obito spoke his mind, it seems to be working hard. It's like there is no other idea at all. Okay, I'll inform Nagato. It's as if he didn't notice anything here, still the same reply as always. Because the capture of Jinchuriki did not conflict with his plan, but was to promote it. No matter what, he can have a backhand. Obito can't find his Wujishan, let him do it. He doesn't think he'll capsize in Obito's hands. So, are the 4 major powers going to attack us? Half a month later, Uzumaki Mizuki was in Daimyofu, which has now been changed to the king's castle. Below, Uchiha Fugaku is reporting that the 4 countries are going to send troops to the Uric Empire. Yes, there's been very little withholding of this news. It should be the daimyos of the 4 countries who deliberately promoted it, especially the daimyos of the Land of Thunder. They intend to send troops together and want to get rid of us. Uchiha Fugaku replied. Those ninjas on the border quickly turned against each other. After all, now that the Nation of Fire is gone, who will send him money? Not yet the new king, to be loyal to whom is not to be loyal. Although some were still afraid, they ran away and fled to surrounding countries. But most of them stayed and stabilized the status quo. Advertisement. The external intelligence system was finally restored. What about the small countries? Are they all going out together? Uzumaki Mizuki continued to ask. The Kingdom of Grass has agreed to start an attack on the border of our Uric Empire. There is no movement from other countries. The country of Iron has no intention based on neutrality, however, there is no movement from the country of Rain right now. Hanzo of Rain Shinobi Village didn't have any intentions either. Tsunade and Iwagakure seem to have sent someone there. Uchiha Fugaku answers questions from Uzumaki Mizuki. Recently he is too busy to keep his feet on the ground. But this feeling still makes him enjoy it, because in the past in Konoha it was old age care. It's rare to be sent out, that is, when encountering a ninja world war, bring your own clansmen to the battlefield. But this time, the incident was no less serious than the ninja world war, and even more dangerous. Maybe, because of the family, I will worship the flute. The Uchiha clan led 1/3 of the Uric Empire troops to guard the border of the Land of Rain. The Ino Shikacho tribes lead 1/3 of the Uric Empire troops to guard the border of the Taki Kingdom. The Hyuga clan and the Sarutobi clan lead the remaining 1/3 of the troops to guard the border from the Iron Country to the Tien Country. The coastline is under the responsibility of Aburame, Inazuka, Shimura, Hitaki and other families. Get ready to go to war, are you alright? Let them see what will happen to the Lord. Uzumaki Mizuki directly ordered. Yes. Uchiha Fugaku was startled, but responded quickly. He thought that Uzumaki Mizuki would go to win over the Underwind country. Because in the past, the relationship between the Kingdom of Fire and the Kingdom of Wind was okay. Unexpectedly, it was necessary to deal with 4 countries with the power of 1 country. This battle may be a bit dangerous, however, he does not feel that Uzumaki Mizuki will be a reckless person. But it seems that every step to get to this point is reckless. I didn't expect that so soon. I embarked on the road of making Studio All Ninja World. Uzumaki Mizuki is too confident at this time. Looking at that glance, I don't know how many points there are. This wave. Stable. 85. The Oath and the Sword of Victory. Open black lens bracket gold armor close black lens bracket attribute. Prevent petrification armed attack powers immune to attack effects under 500 points. Magic attack powers immune to magic effects when the spiritual power is 1000 points. Open black lens bracket travel shoes close black lens bracket attribute. Increase movement speed by 10%. Teleport. Active. Activate to teleport to an allied structure or non-hero unit. Cooling time. 6 hours, Sword of Oath and Victory. Attribute. Sword of Light. It is not a man-made weapon, but a divine weapon forged by the stars. This holy sword converts the owner's magic power into light, and then increases its momentum after contraction and acceleration, making it possible to exercise god-level magic. Consumed 130.5 million points. There are still more than 19 million, however, there are still many people in the Land of Fire who have not realized that they are citizens of the Uric Empire. They should be able to collect 100 million points, and they can be exchanged for an A++ level by then. Treasure. Uzumaki Mizuki looks at his 3 new props, but the eyes are basically on the Oath and the Sword of Victory. Even the armor exuding golden light, he didn't pay too much attention to it. This weapon is a weapon that Jin Glittering 913 Gilgamesh himself has never owned. Wang Jabao, the more treasures Curry has, the more magical power he can increase, and even increase the destructive power of the Deviation Sword. Most importantly, handsome. I bought the Wind King enchantment, but not the Oath and the Sword of Victory? But this weapon cost 100 million 2 points, the most consumed. But the treasure of the distant utopia that I want the most is more expensive. Only if you have the distant ideal land, the vow and the Sword of Victory, can you show its true power and be able to compete with the Sword of Deviation. Template open black lens bracket Gilgamesh close black lens bracket power, 536 stamina, 487 mental power, 1128. HP value, 4870 magic value. King's Treasure Bonus, 11,280 points, Skylog plus 4,000 points, Wealth, Magic Value 3W points, Chakra, 3,350, Seraph Staff, 15,000, Mangekyo Sharingan, 1 piece, Uchiha Shisui, 2,000, Sealbook of, 13,000, Wind King Barrier, 1,500, Gold Armor, 2,000, Sword of Oath and Victory, 5W points. Equipment. The Lock of the Sky, the Staff of the Seraphim, Kohler's Dagger, the Talisman that breaks the commandments of all things, all, CFAA. Flower Tubes Sharingan, 1, Wind King Enchantment, Travel Shoes, the Sword of Oath and Victory. The magic value has broken through 100,000, reaching 130,000. The attribute has also increased by more than 200 points. However, for this battle, the most important equipment is Travel Shoes. Although the cooling time is 6 hours, it won't take me so long to solve the battle. Advertisement, alive, it's enough to cut eyes out one after another. If you kill it directly, you will only get points once, and now Uric alone is a bit too busy. A little busy. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, there is not much pressure at this time, precisely because of his own attributes. Now it is completely possible to abuse the Deviation Sword to mow the grass. The weak points of defense in the past were also offset by the golden armor. Ordinary attacks cannot break through this armor. The counteracting power of the armor, Ordinary Rasengan, probably has no effect on him. It's just that Flying Thunder God doesn't learn so quickly, and can only rely on this method of transmission. Naruto still can't adapt to the blood. If he stays, who should he choose? This is the only headache for Mizuki Uzumaki right now. Kakashi, Jiraiya, or Tsunade. Now his strength has definitely reached Super Cage level. However, it is still slightly worse than the 6 pads level. The gap is not in weapons, but in their own attributes. And now, Uzumaki Mizuki has the power to test the resurrection. As long as you get Rinnegan, you can implement it. So for Naruto, it doesn't need to be too tense, however, it would be best if Naruto could not have an accident. Sannin, Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Fugaku, and Hyuga Heishi. These few people were brought together by Uzumaki Mizuki. Sannin, Senju Hashirama and others have just arrived in the imperial capital of Uruk not long ago. The war has started again, and many people will die. Senju Hashirama also saw Uzumaki Mizuki for the first time after coming here, and said directly, "I'll try to keep them from dying as much as possible. After seeing my absolute strength, they should all give up. If you had done what Uchiha Madara did, there is no need for that now." Uzumaki Mizuki said very directly, after a few years, when the ninja war starts again, more people will die. So he doesn't have any psychological pressure. If you take this step, you will always face it. Senju Hashirama was speechless. Advertisement. He was also thinking at this time, Uchiha Madara should have been in charge in the first place. It's all my brother's fault. I'm looking for you this time to protect my brother when I'm not around. Jiraiya and Tsunade, both of you. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly here. Kakashi was ruled out. The strength is too weak. At that time, I will still be responsible for Naruto's safety, but it is the basics. Jiraiya and Tsunade are mainly responsible for monitoring each other. One is the child of his own disciple, and the other is the offspring of his relatives. Even if there are any conflicts between the two sides, neither of them will turn against each other. If this is the case, then even if he was wrong, why should I listen to you? Tsunade refuses to accept. The old lady is an elder. Why should a junior have such an attitude towards himself? My brother is my seal. If something happened to him, then there would be no need for this world to exist. I'm not kidding. If something happens to him, then I will let the whole world be buried with him. Uzumaki Mizuki said very coldly. The field was quiet for a while. Everyone felt the chill. The younger brother who grew up together and the whole world. Undoubtedly the brother. No matter how he thinks about it, only Naruto can give him a real touch in this illusory world. After despair, he will do more thoroughly than Obito. Until I die, nothing will happen to him, Jiraiya said hastily. Tsunade looked at Uzumaki like Mizuki. She was a little afraid to speak at this time. The second thing is about first-generation cells. Have you developed something yet? See if you can get some for Uchiha before going to the battlefield, and Hyuga's side is fine too. Uzumaki Mizuki continued. As if it wasn't him who spoke just now.